Welcome to episode 90 of Peace Talk. Thank you once again for joining. As always, one and all, shout out to those of y'all in the live chat. This recent moon in Pisces transit was definitely quite the, how do I even say it? Like divine. I don't want to call it a storm, but it is what it is. But other than that, we definitely have a super special guest today. Very, very honored to have you on board. How are you doing, Sharon? Thank you.
I'm great. Thank you for having me on board at last.
You're what?
Yes. I said, thank you for having me on board.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
profile.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
especially to have you on number 92. That's
No, you mean
exceptionally dope.
90. You
Yeah,
mean 90.
episode 90. It's such to have you
Yeah.
on episode 90. I think that's
Mhm.
great numerology right there.
How about
And
especially because I'm Aquarius?
yeah, that especially that too. Yeah, I feel that
Mhm.
uh,
Yeah.
profoundly well. So yeah, definitely awesome. How did you feel this recent moon in Pisces, which I'm sure is your lunar return?
Oh wow, it has been an enormous ride. How about we go way back to the eclipse? that's what that's what has been so much for me. Like very intense, very how do I say it? Like I feel like I've just like being crunched, with so much energy. And then I just get downloads every day, just downloads, and all these things that I see and information. As soon as anyone starts talking, then I start receiving the information. So that's how it is for me. So I know I wanted to ask you because today's the 8th, and I wanted to ask you what is aspecting in my chart today because it's been like so much communication that's been coming in because I think Mercury is still in Aquarius, and it's like everything is coming towards me with communication all over the place, all at the same time, simultaneously. That's how it feels for me
That's a
all the
really
time. Mhm.
that's a really great question. Let's actually look in the peace
Yeah.
wheel. So
Okay.
we do have the Mercury Sun aspect, so that makes sense. Being you have Aquarius as your sun, so it's bringing it all to your focus. But I really think what's driving this is actually Mars and Uranus,
Okay.
which is
Okay.
so
Okay.
close. Yeah.
Mhm.
If
Mhm.
anything, I'm even more grateful we're doing this right now because I feel like our energy is gonna help activate.
Activate. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Because
Yes.
I know you and I have a composite sun in Aries, so I didn't realize how much that definitely applies.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
So we're in for a treat today, I can tell you that. Yep, for sure. But as far as the moon in Pisces for me, it's like the veil is just as much as thin for me to see because I have the ability to read the energy collectively at the same time.
Hmm.
So it's like as soon as when anyone starts speaking, then I'm gonna feel the energy from what's happening with that person and this person, even if it's 20 people in a room.
Yeah.
So it's like it's amplified for me more than ever. And it's like a driving force that my higher selves have just integrated more. And so it's like I'm just hearing things coming from that energy and from someone else and whatever it is to keep putting the pieces together. So I'm still putting the pieces together every single day to whatever I'm to speak or to give out information for anyone, whatever is happening, whatever
Mm.
path that they're on. Yeah. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
actually, for those who aren't aware, what is your sun, moon, and rising?
My sun is Aquarius, my moon is in Pisces, my rising is Taurus, my north node is in Taurus, and I have more Pisces in my chart more than anything else. Yeah,
Nice.
Venus
Yeah,
Pisces.
the Pisces
Yep.
stellium is definitely no joke.
Mhm. Mhm.
Let's
Yeah.
see. Okay. And yeah, I think it's great that we're doing this once again while Mercury's in Aquarius, because there's so much wisdom I know you have to share
Yes,
for us.
yes, I do. A lot of divine wisdom, and I already had asked Spirit, what's the themes that we should talk about, especially in this time, because of how much data that I've collected from the time that I've gone accelerated even more on this path, and is to give even greater wisdom. And let me introduce myself because in case no one knows who I am, that I am Sharon Andrea. I'm doing an audiobook for the planet called The Return of the Garden of Eden. I'm also on a twin soul path. And so I have the ability to read the energy between yourself and whoever you're connected to. And I'm able to bring clarity and peace so you can understand your path deeper, not just on the surface. So not only that, but I also do past life regression. So I'm able to go right back into your past life and bring it into the present because it's all happening now anyway. And it's like I will talk for hours and hours. So it's like if you ask me a question, I'm gonna run with it. I'm gonna run with it, and I'm gonna go deeper and deeper. The more I talk to you, the more I'm able to just transmute, and then you're gonna shift. And I also speak in tongues, so just know when I say tongues, I speak in ancient tongues, many ancient tongues. So if I'm speaking to you or anything that's coming through, then I'm going to be speaking in all these ancient tongues that's going to activate you, and it's also going to heal you at the same time. And then each person that I connect to, as you receive your codes, whoever you're connected to, something's going to trigger and activate at the same time. And it's just an ongoing process, ongoing, ongoing. So I do past life. I also am a medium, so I do connect to those on the other side and know that even your ancestors, they're also going through their ascension with you at the same time. So, and we've been just moving through these energies like constantly. Like it's like for me personally, it's like I felt beat like a rag doll. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Sleep. I know that there's times when you talk about you trying to change your sleeping habits, but I
yeah,
can't do it either myself. It's like I can't sleep at night. I'm up at night and I'm all the way up through the morning, and then I just get all these activations coming in.
yeah.
And then even if I'm sleeping, it's like for 4 or 6 hours, and I'm up again, and then it's like just constant wiring, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
that's so that's what I do. That's what I'm here for. And so the book is in and of itself is to do with everything to do with who we are from the beginning of time, which goes back to over 800,000 millions years or whatever. It doesn't matter because everything is still happening now. I
Yeah.
also received galactic messages. I remember when Mike and I had a session together, and we we heard the sound at the same time. Remember?
Yeah.
It was like ships, like it was like a ship and an airplane. So it was just incredible because he was like, I was like, is that you? And he was like, no, I thought that was you. I was like, no.
you,
Oh
you
my gosh.
you honestly like many times made me realize why at the time, because when we connected was the time I was getting heavy interference. Like any
Yes.
anytime I would do readings with Aquarius women, it wouldn't work. It would just
Mhm.
always get interfered. And like I didn't realize at the time how powerful you are. And you said a mouthful right now. You said that you do a lot that someone who is skeptical about this will be like, yeah, okay. I have from experience, not once, not twice, but 3 times, including that moment you said where you really just took over the reading that I did for you and you gave me like
Mhm.
divine readings, especially this very last one where you in fact I wish I could speak to you longer. I just had to go early, but you I don't know if you channeled it or just knew, but you just completely pulled
Well,
up.
yeah. What was interesting because that's how spirit does it. Like even if say I'm finished with something, what we were finished with, and you said, "Oh, just," I think you said, "Oh, pray for me or meditate." Something you said, and
Yeah.
immediately it's like my higher self said, "Oh no, you're going to do more than that. You're going to help him to shift out something." And then I just get right into mode. It's just like she just steps in like, "Ooh, this
Yeah.
is it." And so it's like it was supposed to be that day. It was supposed to happen. And and what's interesting is that remember the camera wouldn't have us see each other live. It kept freezing and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and after I came up with you, I told you I had to do a reading. And do you know that the camera worked perfectly fine with me and her?
No way. Like
Yes,
right after that
way.
reading?
Yeah, right after that. Yes,
Wow. I knew it was gonna
right.
be. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's exactly what it was. So, there is an intensity that occurs with being around me, but it's a good intensity because,
Oh
it's like
yeah.
it's within my solar plexus. I can actually feel when I'm in contact with the person to know that something's activated. Because know that everyone who's on their path, regardless of what stage that you're on, everywhere that you are, we're like activating, and also they're telling me that there's more grids that are grounding on Earth. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when we're having the sleeplessness, and you might even find yourself not, eating as much and stuff like that, which is a part of the process. So just be, gentle with yourself and not be hard on yourself with what you may or may not eat, or where you are, or if you end up having to leave from your location, because we're still grounding and templating these grids all around. Okay. So it's like I keep getting all these messages for what's happening between now and the middle of the year, and then towards the end of the year as we go into 2020. So, and many of us have been integrating more of our, especially a lot to do with the divine masculine too as well, because there's been so much processing with anger, frustration, and it's like I collect all that data based on how many people that I've had readings, for during that course of time. So somebody asked if I'm Jamaican. Yes, I'm Jamaican too. I'm so many things. Big up, big up. All of the
Word.
massive.
Word.
Oh, it's gonna come out no matter what. Oh boy, wait till the ancient tongues come out, right, Mike?
The
You remember
real
when that happened?
deal.
The
Yes,
real
the
deal.
real
I'm the real. That's right.
deal.
The real deal. I'm in a
Yeah,
rump. I'm in a
I'm
rump when it
grateful.
comes to the frequencies.
I'm grateful for all my Aquarius sisters, especially for you. I think you definitely, once again, and I'm gonna say this once again, like you really like showed me, because you also put it in perspective. Like I realized as a Gemini sun, I'm just not as aware of the
Yes.
energy like you're aware. My soul's there, but I'm not at a sun level aware. So I just kind of want to recount this, because for those of you who aren't familiar with Sharon, once again, she says she's a Pisces moon, Aquarius sun. She has a Taurus North Node. So, like, the very first time I was going to connect with her, I was driving on the road. I think I was driving to California, or on the way to Cali, and like there was just interference. Like it was I almost refunded her
Yes, I
rotation.
remember, and I had to transmute that moment. I said, "Oh no, this is not happening." Go ahead.
Yes, exactly. And I love it. You knew what was happening at the
I
time
knew it was
too.
happening. Yes, yes,
It was weird. Like at some point I thought maybe she was lying at some point about something, or it was just really crazy miscommunication that got squashed. We ended up having the consultation. It was amazing. It was not only amazing, you actually did a reading for me, and you read in tongues, and it really, you spoke in tongues rather, and the healing you did was very amazing, and I didn't realize how much that was faded. But once again, it was more significant because that was around the period where like readings with Scorpio and Aquarius people would just get interfered every day, all the time. And then yeah, once again, like the next part about the sound, we did hear that like humming sound, or
mhm.
which now probably makes me feel was some kind of spaceship or something that was kind of
Oh
like
yeah, oh yeah. And I've had visitation from my galactic family anyway. Like literally, they were walking in the house where I was living, and I was like, I'd be hearing the fridge open up and everything, and I'm thinking it's my kids, and I'm like, oh, it's who in the who? I said, where's? I said, oh, the rat them come to tease food again. So, and I'm like, why isn't anybody responding? And it was really them. And my kids have heard them too, and
mm,
stuff like that. But we're not scared, because we know this is a part of everything coming together,
yeah,
for all of us. But that was an incredible time though, because I remember when you were driving, what you were mentioning, and there was like, you were like kind of mad thinking I was tricking you when that really
yeah,
wasn't the case. And that was just because I knew whenever that happens, I knew that there is something significant that's supposed to happen to do with me and you, and because of the messages that I bring. Okay, because even with what I've done with recording the book, I've been recording for the book since January 2015. And there was times even when my hard drive crashed twice. Okay. and all this stuff just disappeared. And I knew I was just really facing some really dark energy. I had the roof in my house was banging and everything like that. The doors was open, and I wasn't scared. I just stood in my knowing. You know what I mean? And I said, I knew that I'm here to bring very powerful messages. But I just know that I stay on path. I speak my truth and I walk it, and I continue to, to bring the messages. And each time I'm just in gratitude when someone tells me they've empowered themselves even more, or whatever contact I make with you, I know something is going to harmonize, and that we step out of the fear and all the illusions. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's one of the greatest things. And each one of us that just keep awakening to ourselves on a big, greater level. Because I know that when the messages come, even like, sometimes it's like, oh boy, that's a lot of information. And I got it with Sharon, you got to take it in dosages. Because my segments are like 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. And when I saw Mike, some of my episodes were like 3 hours. I'm like, yes, my family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Yeah, because, anything to stop it. And, we're not stopping. Mm-mm.
No, not at all. And that's one thing I wish I had greater, because like even right now, I thankfully you open my channel so much. So like I'm picking up a lot, like for example, that you are this hub and source of like divine activation. So anyone who's currently watching this right now is getting healed right now, is getting activated. Like she just comes from her. And it's high divine energy. And then also because we're connecting too, that's also another activation, like I said before. So I think it's great that Mars is on Uranus right now. It's like within degrees.
It's on my ass right now, you said? No, it's not.
Technically.
Look, when I do my readings, I give jokes, okay? I don't take everything so serious. I give jokes, you gotta laugh. You gotta lighten up.
Yes. No, definitely.
Yeah.
I think if anything, your energy is very symbolic of that water bear energy, because you take your Pisces moon and you share divine waters through. So.
Yes. And I do take it very like I take it deep. It's like every time, like when I'm shown that it's not just what we take and widen the I'm not saying what, maybe you take it to a higher perspective, but also there's times that we take the information and we widen it. And then spirit shows me that after when you're widening, that we go deep. And so in this time, because the North Node is in Cancer, we're going deeper into what we know. So with me, every time when you say, Aquarius, we just know what we know. And I say, hey, if I know what I know, I tell people, I said, if I see what I see, I'm not going to argue or with anyone. I said, I'm just a messenger, and I'm going to give you what is shown to what is shown by me to give to you what spirit is showing me to tell. And spirit could be your higher self. It could be a loved one. It could be just straight from source energy, because I've just had messages that come straight from source energy, and bam, that's it. And then it happens. You know what I'm saying? So even if, say, something's happening in your third dimensional space, I'm always going to complete that circle, is what I talk about, where I'm going to take it higher for you. So you're going to see it in the two dimensional space, wherever you want to take it. You know what I'm saying? So when you do that, that's what brings you that inner peace. You see what I'm saying? That's what brings you that inner peace, and not just in one way, that with whatever that you're taking from your own experience and what's happening. You see, to really open your eyes. This is what this is about, is really seeing beyond the veil, seeing beyond what you are experiencing, seeing it from the higher perspective. Is like, when we think of myself as an air sign, or anyone who's had that Aquarius in their chart, and you're up in the air, and I refer to, ironically, the airplane or the bird, because I did find out 2 weeks ago that I am from the avian planet. I was like, yes, because I was speaking in tongues with this bird language, and I was like, what is this? And then, I was connecting to that. And when you think of a bird, the bird is up in the air and it's looking down, right, at what's below, and you could see everything looks small, everything looks like it's just going in so many different directions. But when you also look from that perspective, then you're taking that data, that information, and applying it to what you know, and then you can make another choice, you see. But always bring all your pieces together, because that's a part of or who I am is helping you to bring all the pieces together and not leaving anything out. You know, as they say, the sin is really Aramaic, means what's missing. It's not about, oh, I'm doing something wrong and all that dogmatic type of talking. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Yeah, that's the difference. So
And no, and it's very, very relevant and important for really accepting that which we may not be able to understand in the moment, but can learn later. For example, like I've for the longest time taken the speaking of tongues very skeptical. My mom used to do it. My mom did it when we would pray. And I know she'd be sincere. And then I remember I went to a church and they kind of laid hands on us. And the person that I came with, we looked at each other and we just didn't feel genuine. Like we didn't know. I'm sure they were sincere when they did it, but we're like, I think they just kind of think they're doing it. But when you did this for me, the first time I was like, wow, like I wouldn't take this seriously, but I could tell that you're really, really doing it, which really made me look at it so differently.
Because you're feeling it within your soul. You see what I'm saying? And that's why it really doesn't matter how anyone takes it, because it's not what they're seeing with their eyes, it's what you are feeling within your soul and how you're connecting to it from your heart. And truly, words and spellings, you know, word called spellings and words and speaking with syllables and sentences. We're heading into this place where we're not only connecting from the heart, but when you talk about telepathically, but speaking in ancient tongues is the actual true language of the soul. I've had people that said, oh, Sharon, when I heard what you were saying, I started speaking. I said, good, let it flow. Because when you're allowing yourself to flow with the ancient tongues, that means that you are connecting to your power and also who you were back in those past times as well. You see what I'm saying? And what had been interesting for me is that I started speaking in ancient, because what happens when I'm speaking in it, people say, well, what are you saying? I said, it's not about what I'm saying. It's what I'm feeling, what I'm channeling from what I'm saying. And it's like an aspect of myself is communicating to me through tongue. So even someone who's on the other side that I'm connecting to, they're not speaking to me in words. It's like I'm feeling the essence of what they're saying to me in communication. And then I start speaking in tongues. And I tell anyone that contacts me for readings, I say, well, I'm just going to let you know, because it's almost like when you have something within you and it's almost like you want to vomit, but it's not really vomiting. It's like it just comes out and you can't stop it. And we're not to suppress what is natural for us. It's speaking in these ancient tongues. You see what I'm saying? So I spoke in ancient Italian, Portuguese. There's also some African dialects, because I've been in every corner of the world where I've incarnated, especially the Chinese, Indian, Asian, I should say Indian lineages, because I have a connection to Asia as well, very, very strongly. And so because of that, it comes forth very powerfully. I also remember myself as shamanic and all these things. So all of the aspects of ourselves will come through with that energy, and it empowers you. It really does empower you.
That's beautiful. And where are you based in right now?
You mean as far as where I work? I mean, where I live?
Yeah. Where do you stay?
Oh, New York. I'm in New York. I'm in Rockland County, New York. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
How long have you been in New York for?
Oh my gosh, I grew up in New York. So even though I was born in Jamaica, I love when people ask me, well, where are you from? I was like, that's a very, very interesting question. I said, because I consider myself to be emanated from many, many places, not because I came into this physical world, but I was born in Jamaica and I grew up in the Bronx, lived in the Bronx most of my life, and went to school. And then I went from one stage to the next, and now I'm up, sort of like country, but I like to be close to the city also, because I know some people say they can't be around the city because there's a lot of energy. It's true, but I'm just the type of person, I can't be in one place. It get to be too boring for me. So that's what I do.
That's amazing.
Oh, someone says they're in Nyack. Oh, good. Nyack is not far from me. Yeah. Yep. So it's very interesting though, but I know that each one of us is where we are supposed to be because of what we are anchoring with the grids all around, in different parts of the world. So just know that it's still you're still on your divine path to where you are to be, no matter what. no matter what. Yeah. So, mhm.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's I definitely want to be mindful of what happens every time we connect, because I know Aries is symbolic for new beginnings and springing up energy. So I think that's dope. What do you feel about Mars on Uranus? Personally, for me, I've
Mhm.
been feeling more powerfully that I'm about to step to the next level of my power. Like it's like on the verge. Like in fact, I've gained that. We're already there. It's just learning
Yeah.
to be more aware of it and utilize.
Yeah. Well, I find myself when you talk about Mars and Aries that I'm taking less physical action, but things are coming towards me.
Hmm.
Okay, in terms of manifesting, because I know that some of us have gone through maybe certain periods of financial changes and all these different things, and what happened is there's so much things that are being uprooted from the earth as far as old energy connected to finances, connected to love and all that stuff. And so for me now, it's like I represent a big huge aspect of what's breaking down when it comes to the financial market, mortgage, because I always seem to have always had to be facing all those obstacles, as one would say, as
Hmm.
that system is breaking down. And so with that now, it's like I'm also recreating things magically within my space, but then at the same time, I sort of like I let go. So it's really a great balance, It really is a great balance, and it's almost like because as the more you release all of the what do you call it, the negative stuff or the deep stuff or whatever has been the blocks that you have, even if it means that you release people, places, things, and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah,
it opens the door with that energy of things coming in faster. So for me now, it's been things coming in rapidly. That's what it feels like. And that's why it feels like I'm getting all this communication all at once. I was like, oh my God. But then I find myself being able to connect to it. You see what I'm saying? In a different way. Like it's effortless because that's what it's supposed to be. So we're not
effortless.
dimming
Yeah,
ourselves down. Right, right.
yeah, I agree with that.
Right, right. Because we were taught to always be doing, doing, doing. And then we're also to remember that sometimes we're to be in a place of being and doing at the same time. But it's in reverse now where it's mostly about connecting to yourself as who you are as the co creator, who you are as the divine goddess or God that you are, you see, and coming into alignment with yourself as such, and definitely not dimming yourself down for anyone else who does not understand that power you have to do
Yeah,
with that.
exactly.
Mhm. Yes. Yes.
Much agreed. Much agreed. Yeah, I'm so
Mhm.
grateful for you. This is really awesome. I
I'm
think,
grateful for you too.
yeah, this is really exciting to see move forward accordingly. I'm just really, I think everything that we've gone through is finally ready to push us forward for this time. I think it's all happening now, and it's really exciting to see and to be a part of. Um, Interestingly enough, so how did you? I have your YouTube channel for those interested in the description below, and your Instagram page. How did you
Mhm.
get started on your path? How long have you been doing what, I'm pretty sure you've been a part of this since birth, but
Of
how,
course.
yeah, that's,
Well, I love that question because I've been on my path as far as remembering since I was 3.
oh
And the
my,
reason is because I've always observed people, I was always in observation. And interesting, when I read about the avian, that planet represents the humanoid, like birds, but they're always in observation. So everything makes sense. So I noticed myself from I was 3 growing up, I was sad. And the reason I was sad is because I could see how people were behaving towards each other, and something felt strange. I felt like I just didn't belong here, and stuff like that. So I grew up in a home where it was, religion, but my mom, she was more spiritual. So my mother was more open. So my mother, we would always be dreamers. So I'm a very, very powerful dreamer. So I have premonitions about things that are going to happen on Earth, because I had a dream about Armageddon. Not where it's an Armageddon where it's something's going to be destroyed, but it's the Armageddon within ourselves. You know what I
mhm,
mean? And so from the time that I was growing up, I was always connecting to my mom with dreams and all these type of things, and supernatural things would happen and all that stuff,
Yeah.
burning the candles and the incense and all these things. And I used to be a little resistant. So by the time I was like, let's say like a teenager, I would say, I was reading cards at my job and everything. And I used to just predict things and it'll happen. Then I'll have dreams about people that tell them and then it happened and stuff like that. But I didn't take it like, oh, this is my job. I just did it as a hobby to help people because I always love helping people.
Yeah.
So by the time I went to that time frame now when my mom, she had transitioned. Before she had transitioned, we would have these deep talks. And I told her, I said, I always felt in my heart, I knew I was here for something big. I always felt and knew that I was going to do a book. And I didn't know when, I didn't know how, but I didn't really put too much energy into it. So I would say that it accelerated for me, or started for me in a different way, from the time my mom got sick, which was back in 1998, the beginning of 1999. And then by the time she transitioned, that's when I was like, something within me said, I need to know what this means with this death and life and everything, because my mom, she is my best friend, and she was like someone I could talk to about anything, like anything at all. And she was non-judgmental. So I take that from her just the same. And so I just started going to all these different seminars. I wanted to see Sylvia Brown, all these other people who were mediums. And then I knew that I would see things, and I knew that there was something I needed to do, more with this. So after that, now I realized that she had said something to me before she transitioned. She said she felt like she was a sacrifice for the family, because I have a really big family. Mm-hmm. And then I realized now that she really was the one that was supposed to be helping me on the other side to do with my twin soul path. So by the time I was connecting to someone energetically back in 2008 or 2006, and this person was coming to me in my dream state, in the energy in my room and everything. Didn't know who this was. I couldn't see the face. All I saw was a brown skinned man, and kept coming to me and saying, "Oh, I love you, Sharon. I want to be with you." And it was coming in past us. And so I've had like a huge pile of books like this that I wrote down all my dreams. I put all the pieces together. And so by the time it was 2014, that's when it actually happened, where my divine masculine found me in the funniest way. And we are a primordial twin flame, template from ancient times. Nice. And everything made a lot of sense to me why I connected to him, and I went into my, what they call the dark night of the soul thing, what they call it. And everyone that knew me, I'm not the type of person to be depressed. So when I went into that mode for like 3-4 months in the summer of 2014, within myself, I knew it was spiritual. I didn't want to talk to anybody about it. So when you're on this type of journey, it's like, and you just don't know what it is. And then it just starts to unravel. And so as time went on, I just, because I'm always hearing, conversations coming from spirit. And so I heard, to start recording the book for the book in December 31st, 2014, a conversation with my 3 arms. And the first things that I kept hearing, the main thing I kept hearing was that the queens must rise first, right? The queens must rise first. And I actually had a dream on that day, on January 1st. I dreamt that I was around a table, and it was like the 12 disciples, but it was a modern type of 12 disciples. Yeah. And it was like mostly colored people, okay? And there's 3 queens that rose. And when they rose and they were in their power, then the males that were there, they were like, Sharon, how did you do that? I said, I don't know. I'm just doing like what I'm supposed to do, because like I heard Source God talking to me saying, it's okay for me to speak. It's okay for me to begin. And it was actually my 12 disciples. That's what it was like, how it was shown to me in the dream. And I knew something big was happening. And when I was driving, going back home that January 2nd, I heard the voice say to me, this was source energy, because I know when it's source energy, say to me, did you know that you and him were king and queen in a past life? And I'm like, really? And they were like, yes. And I was like, oh, who? And they said, well, go home and find out. And I went, I drove home really quick, and I was so excited like a child. And then when I talked to them, I said, well, which queen? Because I knew it was Egypt, because somebody contacted me from Egypt through Tango. And so when I typed it in, I saw all these queens, and then when I saw the one that with Cleopatra, I said, no, I don't think that's me. And then I said, well, which queen? And then I heard Source say, well, look for the one that describes you the most, with your personality. And when I saw Nefertiti, I was like, oh my God. And then when they said that she had all these kids, I was like, that's why, because I have 5 children. So they said she had 7, and it all made sense to me with everything. And I just put all the people. And then once that happened, it's like the whole Pandora's box just opened up. And that accelerated me to continue to just get more information, what I was here to do, and the new kingdom, and speaking in all these ancient languages and all that kind of stuff. And so all of that is recorded in the book, and everything to do with, who we are. I have a page called Sharon Andrea, besides being on Facebook, Sharon Andrea, where I had a lot of supernatural things that was happening to do, and this is not just to do with me personally, but anyone who comes into contact with me, you're in the book. Everybody's in the book. Because the book, remember, Mike, you and someone else I know, the only ones that said that, you said to me the first time when we spoke, you said that the book that I'm doing is like the Bible. And I said, oh my God. I said, it's the modern Bible. It's the modern way of being. It's the new way. That's why I knew I came in as an Aquarian, because this is the new way of how we're being, the new thoughts, the new aspect of how we're bringing things together with relationships, how we are together, living in a conscious community, living consciously, right? Stepping out of our fears and really owning who you are. You know what I mean? So I have like specific models to how you can get through that part of yourself, because each time you come to face with yourself, because everybody represents a mirror, it's not just your twin. Everybody is a mirror for you. And I say that when you allow yourself to detach from the experiences and detach from the outcomes and detach from the circumstances, you are able to step even greater into your power. You see what I'm saying? And
Right.
where you're not connecting to it too emotionally or something like that. So basically, that's kind of like to kind of sum it up to what started my path accelerating more and more and more. And the thing for me is that everything for me is just rapid. It's like everything for me is just, I'm just like the mad scientist. Like I get downloads, papers, printouts, this, that, videos, everything. I collect all the data, then I shift through and I listen to some people. It's like, nope, that's not coming with us. Okay, this is staying with us. Nope, that's not. And that's what I'm here. And I transmute out all this energy. I've had ancestors, like right now where I live, I'm on the ground of the Underground Railroad where the slaves came, and I knew I had a connection to Harriet Tubman. So it's like, for me, it represents freedom, 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 freedom. That's who I am. And that's why I allow everyone to be who they are. And it's not just how we are coming into self-love with ourselves, but honoring the love of others at the same time, and let them be who they choose to be. And you're not responsible for them anymore. That's the new way. We're not here to save and rescue and all that kind of stuff, because that's what has held us back to our own sacred union space within ourselves and the blessings and the things that are here for us. You see what I'm saying? Because that's some of the stuff that's so attached to some of us, and it's time to just keep letting go and letting go and letting go. You know what I mean?
It's amazing. I personally had channeled 2014 to 2016. The divine feminine had to wake up first. So I love how you said the queens have to wake up first, and then 2017 to 2019 is the masculine. Like this year, finally, the men are kind of evolving as well, and then we move forward together. So that it's amazing. I love the way you said it, and I also think it's amazing and so symbolic that, a woman representing Aquarius is writing this newer age Bible. I don't even want to call it new age, but this newer iteration of this book, which is really not only symbolic, but I can't really wait to read it. I think this is going to speak.
You're going to be listening to it, honey bunch, not reading.
It's an audio book, right? Yeah,
it's an audio book. You're going to hear me speaking. You're going to hear me speaking, singing, laughing. There's music, dance, I'm taking us all back to everything. I'm discussing the divine feminine, divine masculine, sacred sexuality. We're talking about sacred sexuality and what that means for us, what it means for the planet. I go back into the religion versus spirituality, the reincarnation of the soul. What does it mean for you? What does it mean to do with your bloodline and what we're transmuting? It's just a lot of stuff. Everything is covered in there, everything. So, what is important again is that this is what we're embarking on is never been done before. We never have reached this far in what we are. So even when someone says, well, Sharon, what do you feel how it's going to look in the next? And I said, well, the one thing that was shown to me is that we're bringing both worlds together. We're integrating heaven and earth. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when we're integrating heaven and earth, that means that before it was based on just what is happening in the physical space. This is also about who you are as a soul being, right? And how you're connecting to the spirit world and bringing it together in one element. You see what I'm saying? And we're not getting rid of one thing. So of course the body is going to be going through changes, because I even talk about, what's going to happen as our bodies go through changes and coming back to that crystalline state. I talk about all the different planets. Some may connect to Andromeda, some may connect to Arcturian. I connect to Sirian, Palladian, Orion, and now Avian. So, and I love it. It gets me excited. These things like this is what gets me excited. Okay, connecting to it like greatly, because I speak about and say, do you know that there are universes among universes among universes among universe? It goes on and on. And I loved one time when you had said, did you know that you have higher selves of your higher selves? I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. I don't remember what episode you said that in. I think it was one of your transit talks. And it's true.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me that said it. I think that was
Who was it? It was your higher self.
Because I don't even, I almost forgot I channeled that. So it's like,
you
wow.
did. And I was like, yes, you got it. You see, my dream and what my ultimate, who I am and whatever, is that I am interested in having a long table talk where many of us are sitting around, whoever's on a twin soul path, ascension path, whatever, because I tried to detach from the labels, in and of itself. And we're talking about this, you see what I'm saying? Because how I look at it is that we never had these type of discussions around our dinner table and breakfast table with our families. Am I right? We never did. Never did. It was always about other things that were so mundane. And that's why some of these children are so bored. They don't want to be bothered with that old stuff. Some of them are coming in, because I talk about some of the children that are coming in, and they're coming in different frequencies, you see? and it's going to be a time where there's going to be a lot of conceptions coming in, just like Village of the Dam, where all these women are just conceiving. And that's because there's a lot more that's shifted within their solar plexus and all that stuff, and connected to their divine masculine, however it is, because of the new template that's coming on earth. You see what I'm saying? And so it's important to know that this is bigger, whatever path you're on, this is bigger and beyond what you think it may be. So don't stay stuck on just, this is happening to me, and be in the victim mode and so on and so forth, because we all agreed to be incarnated in this particular time. And yes, there may be some who may not really continue to stay on this path, because Spirit showed me that there's some who are going to leave out of the physical body. There's a lot of people I notice are coming up with illnesses that they had it before, it went away, and now it came back. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, really important to stay mindful and focus on your path and what's happening. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. I love how you refer to it as sacred partner, or I'm sorry, divine counterpart, instead of twin flame, which it's all like similar, whatnot. So you do carry this amazing divine mother energy. And
yes.
Okay. So Sana Kadora said, my faucet just started by itself, and I swear it moved position. This is what I was talking about, guys. Like, her energy is very, very powerful. So like, be mindful of what happened. This is a very powerful ritual, just watching this,
Yes.
I was just going to ask
feel it.
speak that language and do some healing in a bit.
Ui mamba chunda la petande le tekiro semba pula da retina la batana tasana punda la batera patara andara cielo sort of it's like I feel like it was already wanting to come out, but I didn't want to just interrupt, and I could feel the energy of everyone that's on and whoever is listening, because what they're showing me is that we're activating you're all activating your true self and who you're connected to.
That's it.
Because we were all in that one tribe, that tribe, the tribe, and just breathe out anything that no longer serves you. And so just let's do this again with what you can feel within your solar plexus, because we're retemplating everything that is coming together as who you are with your divine partners, and everything is in a union space. We're talking about what you're manifesting in the physical space as far as your wealth is concerned and your health. Okay.
I hate to interrupt.
Some of you, yes.
I hate to interrupt, but Brito, just like everyone else said, they have chills, and she's downloading so much right now. So you're so right about connecting with your truest self. This is happening, y'all. This is happening right now. This is amazing. Super amazing.
There's some of you on here that are having so much fear about your past.
Yeah.
Okay. And to let go, that even if you have family members who don't understand, let it go. You have to be at a place where you just don't give a fuck. Okay. Yeah. Really just can't have any fucks to give. And that means you're detaching from it, and trust that spirit will find a place for you. Some of you feel like you're being displaced because you may feel you don't have anywhere to go. Again, trust spirit to where you're being led to the next stage. Okay. Because when you step out of that fear, you're being led to what is the highest and best for you. And it is all already ordained. They're saying it's already in place. Okay. Some of you are going to be leaving from the east to the west, and some of you are going to be leaving from the west to the east, that it might change back, and just let go and stay out of the mind. Stay out of your mind. Like, connect from your heart to your mind, but stay out of your mind and thinking, oh, this doesn't make sense, or why is this happening again? Because there's so much energy transmuting from deep into the core of Mother Earth, and we're rooting a new set of branch, the root, okay, and making new branches of ourselves. Okay, so be at peace with whatever you're being guided to, and listen with obedience into, when I say obedience, I don't mean as far as being controlled, but I'm talking as far as when you hear it, trust it. When you hear what you're to do next, don't go into your mind first and say, oh, no, I don't need to do that, because then I don't want to hurt this person, or I don't want to do this, or it might not work out. Because a lot of times we're so programmed, and there's so much programming within the programs, and it's time to release all those programs. Because I have the ability to see the little hidden programs, so they sneak in.
They do.
Sneak in. Yeah, because the minute you start to feel, just remember this, I talk about the I am presence. When the I am presence is present, the I am not is going to appear. And so what it is that you're not going against yourself, because it's yourself that you're facing. And what that means is that you're going to look at yourself and you're going to say, I know who I am, and I couldn't know who I am if I didn't see the opposite of myself to who I am. Because we all chose to incarnate. And sometimes I say, damn, why the fuck did I come here? Why? But you are on a purpose of seeing and experiencing what you know, okay? So that way you get to live out who you are, and not just have it and just, oh, I know this is who I am. Now you're living it out. Now you're being it. You're stepping into it, okay? But no, every single time when you start to get into that positive, like, oh, yes, I know who I am. Yes, I got this. And all of a sudden, the opposite comes right into your space, and you feel like, oh, shit. And you feel like you went down again. And what it means is like immediately, like in a second. In a second.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel it as
Yeah.
like a counter force. Like anytime I feel it, it's like this dark force. It's like, no, you're not that. You keep your head down.
Yes,
How dare you feel
yes,
confident in yourself? So it's like,
yes,
wow.
yes, exactly. And another thing too, how it can come in subtly is like, how dare you think that you are the best? How dare you think
Yes,
that you are superior? You are superior. You are
yes,
divine beings. You were created to be wealthy. You're created to be healthy. You're created to be everything that you choose. You see what I'm saying? And even if someone else never did it, don't stay in your lane. That's one of my other mottos. Stay in your lane and keep on keeping on to who you are. That even if it means you have to let go, when I say let go, I'm talking about completely letting go. And it takes, like, I don't say it takes practice, it takes the constant experiences, because your soul is going to keep bringing you to all the chaos for you to finally get to, to let go. Because I noticed that one of the things that humans have a difficulty with doing is change and letting go. And I know being on this path can be very scary. I understand. I know. Whatever I'm talking with you about, trust me, I have gone through the valleys, the shadows, all of it. A lot of alchemy, a lot of alchemy. And I talk about so much of this in details and segments. So that way, as you are walking this, you're able to be at peace. Like how when they talk about Yeshua walking on the water, and he was able to have the water be still, even though it was a storm, and he was able to do it. And that's what is happening with you, is like we're going through storms. Some of us it's starting to dissipate, but know that you're going to have both sides occurring at the same time, because that's a part of who you are with the yin and the yang. You know what I'm saying? Now,
yeah,
another thing too is to also pay attention to your dreams. Pay attention to, if you're on that twin soul path, that whatever is being shown to you from that person, don't take it personal. Don't take it personal with everyone, with whatever's coming up, even if they're a son of a bitch, whatever you want to call it. But be mindful of not calling the names, because it's echoing back to you. Okay. And everything is in energy now, because that portal is open up so much now. The portal is open up wide, that things are coming in and leaving out. They're coming in and leaving out. And the more you allow yourself to understand on both sides to what is showing, because you're sharing that same energy. And as you are sharing that same energy, you're transmuting out things that may be coming from generational, what we call generational curses, or generational stuff that's happened through the mother frequency. Because one of the things that I have spoken about so many times in the book, and I say this in so many readings, is that we are really, truly healing the mother energy.
hmm,
Because everyone desires to feel that nurturing, because that's where it started from. And the reason why the divine feminine has to rise to her power, which is not subjected to the physical female body, is because that's what has been missing on earth, and that's what has to come into balance. But if you are experiencing pain and rejection, abandonment that comes from your mother, even if it was through death, I had to go through that too, just last week with my mother. Because even though when you think, oh, I've healed it, no, you still, it's ongoing. It's ongoing. That it can come in very subtly as feeling abandoned, whether it was through death, or it could be if you feel like your mother was controlling over you. So it's so many different things that is shifting. You know what I'm saying? And to pay very close attention to what is being shown to you, especially with the dreams, because that's your soul in communication with yourself,
hmm,
right, in the etheric realm, into what is shifting between you and either that person, okay, or
yeah,
even someone who may be a catalyst as that person. In other words, some of you may be on connecting to someone who is an aspect of your twin. An aspect doesn't mean that they are, and people get all confused, and all that is what comes with those dark energies, because they
can
don't
I ask
want
you
us to
one
come.
question?
Sure, sure.
Actually, please keep saying what you're saying, but I was gonna say,
Yes,
so because I wanted, as with your perspective as Divine Mother, to give us advice on how to deal with these divine compliments. And I realized that there's a
yes,
difference between having a twin flame connection, or a soulmate connection, versus actually being soulmates with someone. And I didn't realize, because it's just like you said, like I kind of confused someone that had an aspect of my counterpart for
yes.
being my counterpart versus
Mm-hmm.
someone who's actually that. So could you please
Okay.
continue to expand on that like you were.
Sure, definitely will. So one of the things that I know, because everything that I talk about is based on my observation and also my own experiences. When you're on the twin soul path, the one thing I know, some people, when they contact me for readings, the first thing some of them want, they want me to validate whether or not that's their twin. And I don't do that, because it's like as if I'm telling you who you are. And your twin soul is not just a mirror of you, it's a very sacred path. So it's not to be taken lightly. It's not to be taken lightly, but then it's not for you to take it all serious like you are, like you're in a contest or something, okay? And what happens is, I say, pay attention to all the relationships that you have had prior to meeting that person that you're connected to, okay? And the reason is because you are actually living out an experience with that person, with what you experienced with your twin in past lives, because it's not every lifetime you've been with your twin. And what I want you to understand, before the Spirit is guiding me to say this especially, everyone started out from being the light, and we all agreed to incarnate, to know ourselves and to come back to ourselves by going through the darkness, by going into the density of this earth, okay? And so you gain experience, and the experience, you take it with knowledge, and then the knowledge becomes wisdom. But you have to apply the wisdom from the knowledge. And so when you're looking at your twin soul, bless them on both sides, whether you're in the masculine space or the feminine, because you both agreed from a soul level that you were going to gain all these experiences so you can know thyself. You can't know yourself if you don't go through the opposites or the contrast, is what I call it, or what you're not. Okay. And so each lifetime, you may have had an experience with someone else who may have been just a soulmate. And that soulmate is helping you to become more, I would say, in that power, because both of you can't come together in a greater space until you're both like as equals. Okay. Energetically first, because it can be very intense. So when you have someone in your past that you had a relationship with, think back to what it is that you had to move through to heal with that person, because 99.99, that is something that you've had to work through with healing before you get to be with your twin. There might even be moments where you're with your twin and you're living with them. I've heard where they move out because you are really having to, how do I call it? Like shift through energies of experiences that you've had to get back to that wholesomeness and get back to pure love, because that's what we're returning back to, pure love. Now, some of you may even meet catalysts, and the catalyst is someone that is close to like being your twin, but they're not 100%. That's something that you would know. When I met my twin, I said, wow, he's like 99.99% of who I've been looking for, but he found me. But the thing is, just because it's 99.9 doesn't mean that you're exactly alike, because one may represent the light, one may represent the contrast to who you are, or the opposite, or the shadow, as one would say. Then I also had the great pleasure of meeting a divine complement, which is his brother. So I have two divine masculine, and it's because of who I am and what I am here to do with and for the planet and with others, because I'm the original twin flame pair. So I have divine codes within me to help each person to get into their divine union, okay, their sacred union. And one of the things that has been the missing ingredient to what most people they run away from it, is being in love, being in love. And so if you're in fear of being in love with who you're with already, then that's something for you to think about, what it is that you are working through in terms of being able to come back to that space of being in love. And I'm not talking about just saying, I love you to someone, okay? Because your twin will show up in energy through others, okay? And it's important not to be judgmental when they come your way. Pay attention, because you're going to see the signs, and it's going to come from that person. So it's almost like you're going through versions of your twin until you get to the ultimate. And I said that to my divine complement, because when I saw he had, baby mothers, and I had, two sets of different children, and I said, wow, I said, I said, I'm your last stop. And I said those words because you go through versions of the self. You go through versions of maybe the shadow. Then you might have the ultimate love experience. Then all of a sudden it changes because you're working through, I would say, coming back into being in your own sovereignty, into your own power within yourself. You must be within your own power within yourself in order, I would say, to be able to be in a harmonious space. Because it's not just, oh, I want to get down with my twin, and so, because it's not just the physical person, it's also everyone. Like, are you able to be in love with yourself, that person, and then also creating that third energy? Because your twin is also God. Your twin is also goddess. Okay. That's how powerful it is. It's beyond the physical person. It is like that. I had the pleasure of walking into Bed Bath & Beyond, and I heard the Holy Spirit say, did you know that you were making love to me in the bed? I'm like, what did you say? And I stood there, like they say, dead ass in the store, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And I was like, oh my God. And it takes you to a whole new level.
Yeah.
That it's not about just the person itself. And it's amazing because it's like you're having a love affair with God. That's what it is. You're having a love affair with God, you see? And so we've all desired to experience love. It starts from the mother first, right? The nurturing, and, you know, you're in the womb space in the dark, and, you know, and then at some point you have to come out to the light from the dark, and then you had to be cut from the umbilical cord, but now it's cutting that energetic cord. And then you recreate that love with someone else, right? And have something that's created from that energy, whether it's a child or something else. And so we are recreating ourselves, remember ourselves as God and Goddess through the element of the Christ consciousness, right? Coming together in that oneness and becoming golden again, right? Where everything is happening through us that is effortless. It's effortless, you see, because there has been so much programming that, oh, you must dim your light. Oh, that's too strong. So what's happening is that every time when the twin pairs are going to come together, and I sometimes used to shake my head like, why do people keep running away from the fact that this has to do with being in love with that person too? Because it's powerful.
Yeah.
It's powerful. It's like the way how Spirit showed to me is that there's going to be a certain number of twins that are just coming into that physical union space. And what is going to happen is it's going to set off an even brighter grid on the planet. And it's going to go off like a nuclear bomb. You see what I'm saying? It's bigger. It is bigger. It is grander than what you think it is. And that's why it's important to stay in your knowing with who you know you're connected to.
Yeah.
Don't allow yourself to be distracted, because it really can sneak up on you. It really can. And they would, and that energy would, and when I say them or they or the darkness, it also comes from people who are in resistant energy.
Yeah.
They're in resistance because they're in fear. That's how it was.
I can say from personal experience, everything that's blocked my progress in this twin flame experience has been especially as a masculine, having to be vulnerable and running from love. And also, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I thought I knew who my twin or partner was. And then I realized, like, there's different people I share, you know, perceived connections with. And I feel like I have to integrate, just like many other people, I have to integrate with my soul. And once I understand that, then I'll understand who this is. So as of now, I don't really know who my divine counterpart is. Like, I know who I have connections with, but I see that as just where I'm at. And someone asked, is there such thing as a false twin? I don't believe.
I don't use those words, false twin, because when you say false twin, it's like you're saying you're false. And you see, those words that have been created by others because of their own projection, it is not false. I call it the catalyst. That person is like a catalyst to get you to that point, to whatever you have to heal or whatever you have to transmit. Say, for instance, I give you an example. Say the person you end up with came across like a twin, right?
Yeah.
And they were abusive, or you allow them to take advantage of you, right? Or they have issues when it comes to money, you know, whatever the circumstance, because it could be so many different variables. And it has to do with you empowering yourself. It has to do with you walking away, because it's all about coming back to your true power. Okay. And so they're catalyzing you, and to the point where you will finally say, oh no, I've had it. That's enough. I'm walking away from this. And you're not in fear of being alone, because a lot of times people are afraid of being alone. Sometimes you got to sit with your motherfucking self. You got to sit with yourself.
So true.
You got to be able to not feel like you have to be in a relationship to really come into this union space and be at peace. You have to be able to let go of what you've been taught, or what you've experienced or had with your parents and what you've seen. You know, it goes in layers, and it's not just this lifetime, it's previous lifetimes, okay? Because there's a lot of times people are walking with certain elements of things that they're holding on to, and they're not realizing it goes from a lifetime that could be in the 1600s. You see what I'm saying? Or it could even be further back. And your sacred partner is going to be holding on to that space with you as you're holding on to it, and not even realizing where it's coming from. So that person who is not the twin, or just close to the twin, is helping you. So you can thank them from the bottom of your heart for helping you to come into your union space. And again, I want to emphasize, your union space is not just to do with the physical person. It has to do with your own sacred space, you know, like really knowing when it's time to just be alone and be at peace. It also involves your passion, your path. Be on your path. Be, follow your passion. So even if it goes against your family, or it goes against what's customary or whatever is traditional, you see, following your heart, that's a part of your union. And if your union is being
together, like if your heart is saying, I know this is weird, but we just need to get together instantly, and even the traditional way of waiting and getting to know, is just like
yes. Or even if you're on a path where the person's younger than you, or older than you, or you're of a different race, or, you know, it's all these barriers and blocks that we're breaking down. This is a huge, monumental thing that's happening. The beautiful thing is that there is more of us awakening, and there's more light quotants that are coming from, you know, the other planets. And even they told me that there's other universes that is helping us, because this is the only planet that was used as an experiment to be able to go through what we are experiencing right now, like a project. Okay. And, you know, as you continue to bring forth yourself with what you're bringing together with all of this information, and stepping into your power and all of this magic, and it's like a magnetic type of force that's occurring here. Very, very magnetic. And that's the reason why you're experiencing the chaos, because you have to have everything start to break down around you in order to rebuild yourself back together again to your true self, You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yes. And sometimes you have to even get to that place where you're healing, even with intimacy. Like there's some who are not even able to be intimate with someone. And intimacy, when I talk about intimacy, is even being able to just have a comfortable conversation, that you can hug a person, touch, laugh, and be authentic. Very important to be authentic. So that person could also be a catalyst to get you to a place to be authentic. To get you to a place to be able to be, to express yourself. Okay.
Yeah. No, definitely. And it's definitely been quite the path. I think people sometimes could be impatient. They forget, like it's a process.
It's a process. Yes, it is a process. And think about that. If you have accumulated over 500, 800,000 lifetimes, you heard me, over 500, 800,000 lifetimes of energy. And, you know, even if you have a loved one that's transitioned, they're helping you also to get into your union space, because I've had a lot of ancestors come to visit me, thanking me, for being here. And you have your ancestors also that are working with you to come into that union space. And that union space even represents your own inner freedom. And then it shows externally, you see? Wow. And there's nothing. The other thing too, what boggles my mind is that everything is coming together mentally with healing, emotionally, spiritually, etherically, and physically. And that entire union space energy is all of it. And it's not about, oh, I'm going to go find someone else because, no, because you're still going to have to heal something to do with another person. So you must face yourself. Face yourself. Because it's going to keep following you, and you're just going to, your soul is going to recreate someone else to come into your space that you're still going to have to face what you need to face that you didn't face before. Am I correct?
That's so true. That's so
Yes.
true. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And it's like going in a circle, a different type of circle. You know what I mean? Yep. Yeah. Yep. That's right. So it can be quite tricky, or I should say, I'm gonna say tricky. I call it delicate surgery. That's what I call this journey, especially to do with if you're on a twin soul path. It can be quite like delicate surgery, but you know what? You can do it. You can do it because spirit is gonna always send someone to just come right in the nick of time if you feel like you just can't go any longer or this is too much, because you knew you could do it, and that's why you're here. And we're all avatars, and it's to awaken and to ignite yourself as the avatar that you are. Every time I think about, oh, I can't wait to fly. What? Like before I said, oh, I would like, with my kids say, hey, go get me this for me. Now I said, well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to say, hey, come here to me, object. just
I feel you. Just
for
like,
real.
why can't I do that yet, right?
Right. That's right. But, because we have to come within integrity with a lot of things, you see, because it can be very easy, like I've heard you talk before, where the gods have come before each other and there was a war. It was a power struggle and a war, and there's a lot of energy coming up to do with Atlantis and the Moria also. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff that's been coming up to the surface. I haven't even touched on it. Yes, oh yes. But with all the retrogrades and the eclipses and all that stuff, it had to tear and pull things out. It had to just like left, right, and center. So that way now, for those who are have quite accelerated even greater on the path, it's like things are now, like what they show me is that the way when things feel like it was pushing against you, now things are in reverse, because they keep telling me the curse is reversed. The curse is reversed. I just keep hearing it. Reverse the curse. Reverse. Yes.
Amazing.
That's right. Amazing indeed. Did I leave anything out just in case? Because I know I will talk and talk.
No, you I'm definitely going to invite you back on for more like focus.
Oh, I already knew that. Knew that. Spirit told me that.
It's going to be dope. You're all going to see a lot of Sharon very soon.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Let's play the 3 questions game, the infamous 3 questions.
Yeah, game. I got my questions ready because I knew you were coming with that.
Nice. All right. Okay. I usually have you go first, but I'm gonna go first this time.
Oh, okay.
And then after we do this, if you don't mind, we could channel some readings too.
Yes, I would love to do some readings, and Mike will have to pick how many, because I know I can't do everyone, because we'll be on here till like 11 o'clock.
Yeah. Please hold off on I know Wesley donated super chat. Please hold off on that. I like to save those for transit talks and also for weekly. So you're welcome to tip, but we'll just choose from the chat, and we'll just channel something general too. But the first question that I have for you is, what is one celestial being that you work with very closely, or calls out to you very powerfully? That's a focus for right now, at least.
You said a celestial being that calls out to me?
Yeah, or one that you're really close to.
Wow, Mike, I'll be honest with you, I don't have a name, and I have more that are on my team than ever before. Like before, I was told that I had like 60,000 spirit guides, and they told me that it's up to 900,000.
Wow.
And then now, it's a lot. I get, when I say I get a lot of downloads, I'm not joking. It's a lot of info, but I don't pay attention to it because I'm just always just assimilating the data. It's like I feel like I'm a walking computer, and But as soon as you ask the question, though, I'm being shown this very tall, like a male energy,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm online with the Avian planet, which I think is in the ninth dimension, but I kind of feel like it's higher than that. The 12th dimension, I feel, but it's even higher than that. So it's like there's no specific name, but I know that whenever there's times when I get just message straight from source. There's no middle person, no, none of that. And when that happened to me the last time was last month, and I felt like tears were just coming out of my eyes.
Wow.
And I felt the presence. I was in my room, and I was like in such a surrender in a different way. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it's like I was shown the template of what I carry as the goddess Aset and as the is principle. And then my divine complement holds the raw energy and then the L because of what comes together. Because each one of us have a specific template of what we carry and what we're here to bring forth. And it's very sacred and it's very powerful. And people don't even really, when I say people, I'm talking about the ones who probably don't even know what we're doing or what's happening. Like some of them are, and it has to be that way because not everyone can awaken at the same time. Because they told me if that was happening, to be really chaotic. You see what I'm saying? True. So when I think about it or when I feel into it and I think about it, we're heading into a place now where there are more and more of this templating, which I feel why it was chosen today for me to be on here really wholeheartedly is because I'm to activate those who are on their twin soul path more than anything else.
I think that's what you're doing right now. I think I'm
doing it right now. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. And there's a lot of shifts. I could feel you. I could feel who's listening that they're being activated because there's thoughts and things that have been carried that has been blocked to not bring the twins together. And you know what? I made sure to sprinkle my Florida water before I come. You notice no interference, no nothing, right?
No interference. Yes.
None at all. I'm in a rump.
Nice.
I don't play. Homie, don't play that.
True
because it's important for me because when I see when I get the vision of what we are templating and what it's going to look like and what it feels like, it's blissfulness. This is about heading to blissfulness, and one of the things I ask people, I said, have you ever experienced blissfulness? Do you know what it's like? It's a higher energy, and we're heading to where we're going to be like a spin top where, heaven on earth is being in a blissful energy where you're having a full body, sacred sexual orgasm. And being in love is what brings that energy with that. And you're in so much joy that I feel that if majority of us were in that space, but it's just like it has to take its course in dosages, that all the bullshit would just go away. It would just go away. And that's why I had to speak in more about being in love, because when you're in love and you're playing the music, you're dancing and you're feeling and connecting to who you're connected to, and it's not where you're holding tight to it, that's what they don't want, is for us to be in love. And that's why all the little, I call them the sentinels from the Matrix, the sentinels, they come in, all of a sudden you just feel like everything just goes away because all that shit interrupts your flow, right?
Yeah.
But the key is, are you able to master yourself with the joy and experience joy and sadness at the same time, where you can't feel that you run away from it? Because the more that many of us align with that frequency, boom. Get it?
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
So I hope that answered your question. Let's be honest.
It totally did. That was very, very cool. And now I feel we are in it's your turn now.
My turn now. Okay. So speaking of, I want to ask you, have you ever experienced blissfulness or full body sacred sexual orgasm? Have you ever experienced that?
That's a very great question, because I didn't realize, thankfully I have Venus in the 12th. So like I can, with this twin flame journey, even though it's been solely like very lonely, I've been connecting more with my sexual energy more than I ever thought possible. So I've been experiencing stuff. I didn't realize I was secretly getting trained for that moment, because I didn't realize, because I got, especially in the case of orgasm, I got to a point where I didn't even know I could have multiple orgasms. I thought that was just possible for, I thought it was just maybe women who could do that. So I didn't realize how through this like more sexual training, I've been training to like get my body to that point. And I've
Yes.
like
Yes.
certain breakthroughs. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it's so funny that you say that, because I think now more than ever, I'm finally ready to have that full body. But no, I don't think I've had that full body. And I feel like I'm being blocked from it, partially by myself and then partially from other entities. So you asking that, I know for a fact that that's what's going to happen soon. I think next I'm going to step into that.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten close, but nah, not really, not really.
Mm-hmm.
And this is without even having intercourse, right? Just having
Yes,
a
yeah. Having a full body orgasm does not necessarily entail having that physical person with you. And I already had that experience several times and also merged with both of my divine masculine energetically. And one time it was physically with one and energetically with the other. And what I was hearing, if you don't mind me telling you what, because I'm hearing what it is that a lot of times there's many who they're on the path and then you kind of like turn away from it or ignore it because you're like, oh, I don't want to make it feel like I'm obsessed with another person, but that's not what it is. And
yeah.
so when you turn away from it, that energy is like, yeah, we don't want you to really go too much into it because that means you're going to get closer to, what's divine here. And it was taught in many of the religious structures, okay, about, you must cover up yourself, or you can't talk about sex, and that there's the only way that you're experiencing sex is just with the lower parts of your body. And full body sacred orgasm is very sacred. It's also about feeling all of the organs of your body accelerated. I would say when I experienced it several times, it's almost like being at 200,000 watts. I mean, I was having it so powerful that when back in 2015, I was kept isolated from people and all kind of anything for at least 5-6 months recording the book. And my soul was above my body. So I was walking around the house like I was on stilts. And I was feeling so powerful. It was so wonderful. And when I felt it, my heart was activating every part of me. I didn't need any food. I wasn't eating. I wasn't drinking.
Wow.
I was like, and I didn't give a fuck about no bills. The phone still stayed on. I don't know how that happened because I wasn't paying attention to nothing. And that's what we're heading back to on Earth. And also being in love and being in that sacred sexual love is where we're going to be in love with each other. You're going to find yourself even being in love with a cockroach. Like you find yourself in love with another person, but it doesn't mean that you're necessarily going to involve physically sexually because it's a merge. When you leave out of your body, it's a merge. And when you're merged at that frequency, everything else just falls away and you're just in a total space of blissfulness. And so I was in that space for 2 weeks straight. And then I started to feel myself descend back into my body. And I started to say, oh no, I don't want this to happen. I want to keep it going because I knew how wonderful. And I was like, oh my God, I got to tell somebody. But you know that time when you want to tell somebody, like, what are you talking about? No, you're fucking crazy, whatever, right? But I was supposed to say because I talk about because it's going to happen. And I had I'm heterosexual. And I found myself being attracted to another female because that's how powerful this in love is going to be.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You will find yourself wanting to merge, and it makes you feel excited because when you're excited, if everyone was in that excited space with your whole body, what's going to happen is the trees, the flowers, the plants are going to start. They showed it to me like the colors are going to be more vibrant.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is that things are going to flourish. Like the tomatoes are going to be bigger. There's gold that's hidden in the core of the earth that things are going to come to the surface. There's a lot of things that they showed me what's going to happen when, and that's the reason why many of you may have felt like energy trying to stop you because of what's coming. And that's why the curse that's reversed is for us not to dumb down ourselves anymore, but you must clear out the blocks to be able to get to experience, and don't run away from what it is that you know is true in your heart to who you're connected to. Don't go by what they may or may not do because, spirit did that on purpose, that they don't respond to you. They don't do anything with you because you must go deep into yourself as to where or what you're feeling that's triggering you. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I have
Right.
like a special block too. Like, I didn't realize that this is what, because it happens outside of just orgasms. Every time I have an experience, once
Yes.
I think it's an unconscious response that I might have done unconsciously, but it's like
Hmm.
once I get to a certain point where I'm about to lose control and enter it, my body just shuts down. It's just like, and then I start to
Yes.
come back down. So it's like
Yes.
I've never really passed that. So I mean, hopefully those blocks are completely removed. I think
Yeah,
that
I mean, the moment I say when we're releasing blocks, you don't have to necessarily say you go into a ritual. Sometimes it's just when you're bringing it into awareness because you're bringing what is unconscious and making it conscious. And that's
yeah,
what your twin soul is there for, is that whatever they're holding and embodying in them, especially those in the male bodies, they're holding a lot of energy that was from the time when they turned away from the divine feminine. And so with that, they are bringing that information that's channeling through the divine feminine. And sometimes you switch places. So it doesn't mean that if you're in the divine feminine, sometimes you change over to divine masculine energy. And so everything is transmuting constantly while you're sleeping, while you're awake. You see what
yeah,
I'm saying? And
right.
as you're doing that and transmuting through all that energy, it's clearing the way for what can happen and to shift and to change between the both of you. You know what I'm saying? There are
Yeah,
even some who are on the path that they have a twin and then there's someone else that they're connected to energetically. You're not crazy. I've had some who've come to me that even someone that came to me, she's married and his higher self was coming to her twin. She came to find out her husband was her twin and she didn't know that. You see?
mm,
So everything that comes to you, do not think that you're crazy. That means that
yeah,
99.9 that you're on track and you're not to negate it because your soul is leading the way for you. You see, your
true.
soul is leading the way for you with all of this. Yes.
That's beautiful.
Mhm. Yes.
So yeah, and I've recently experienced that too. That I was wondering, like, wow, maybe I was wrong because
Mhm.
I started feeling uh I started seeing signs and attachments to someone
Mhm.
else, but then
Mhm.
spirit was just like, you're looking at it too linearly, like it's not gonna,
Yes.
life doesn't work
Exactly.
that way. And
Yes.
it's and knowing that it's a process that will lead to the ultimate experience makes it more understanding. So, but my second question for you is, what advice do you have for people who go through spiritual attack? Let's say you were going through spiritual attack. What would you do to defend yourself or kind of balance the energy out?
Okay, so when it comes to spiritual attacks, because I've had those experiences, and how it had to come to that place where it ended, I would say in a greater way, is that I changed my thoughts and view around it. I changed my perspective around it. And I'll give you an example. When I was recording for the book, and I would sit in my office for hours and hours just recording. And it was dark in the room. And then that's when I told you, if you heard me when I said there was banging on the roof and things were falling on the closet. And I was like, well, I'm not getting my black ass out of the seat. I'm going to stay right where I'm at and I'm just going to continue. And so I refused to go to sleep. Also, I couldn't sleep because I was like, oh, I don't want to go and get myself mixed up because it was intense. And so when daylight broke out, I just heard people say, what do you see now? What is your perception now? And I was like, well, wow, I didn't even realize there was certain dirt on the floor and stuff like that. I didn't see it because it was dark. When I was recording, it was nighttime. And so then I heard people say, well, what do you think now? What are you going to do now? And I was like, well, wow, I see something differently. I realized that everything that was showing in my reality was what was within me, and it had to come out. It had to do with the times of how I was treated with the information, and we've all gone through those episodes of whether or not you've had path of being killed or burned at the stake or whatever the case may be. And so when I felt all those attacks coming onto me, I had to just move through it and realize, okay, I'm going through something it's just temporary. And there's times when I had to burn sage and I had to, spray. What I recommend is Florida water and ammonia, and I spray in the corners, wherever I am or whatever. And I just start to chant, you know what I'm saying? And what I put out there is that anything that is coming towards me or I feel that's attacking me, I say they must reveal themselves. And I'm not choosing to go through this. And I just, like what we call, rebuke it. Okay. And I just stayed more in my power. I just kept staying more in my power. And I said, because I kept thinking about, what am I choosing here? Am I going to choose the fear and what I feel is happening around me? Or am I going to keep it going, keep moving along? And also what I do is I play music, and sometimes it has to be trap music, and it just shifted, and dancing. I dance my ass off, and I start to sing. I will sing. I don't care if the note is off, whatever. I'm going to sing. I'm going to dance. And all of this is what helps with transfer, because, because when you are in your joy and laughing, when you're in your joy and laughing and comedy, that also pushes away. Because you see, when you're in a depression and sadness and especially fear, that's when it comes in more and more and more. And it's almost like it's nonstop, that you feel that there's an attack. That's true. So I've noticed that I noticed that even when certain things was happening to my phone and all that stuff, there was still energy that was flowing through me. And I don't use the words that something is coming at me, because we must be conscious of the words that we speak. If you start saying, oh, I'm being attacked, oh, this is after me, then guess what? You are creating it again to have those experiences and the stories. And then it's going to keep on coming. So be conscious of that too as well, you see? So there's so many different, factors here. I even had something that came to me. This was early in the year. I think, no, it was about December, January. I was told by someone that there was a dark energy that followed me when I came into the portal before I incarnated. And I was like, okay, because I didn't even know how I was going to identify, but they said I was from the Palladians. I was the Palladian queen is what he told me. And he told me that that energy was with me. So it so happens that I had this deodorant that I was trying to find, a magnesium deodorant. And then it was sent to me, and I didn't remember that I ordered it. And when I got it, I sprayed. I was like, oh, wow, I sprayed it. And all of a sudden, when I turned my neck, I saw this dark energy just leave out of my body. I'm not kidding. Wow. And I realized, that it was so powerful and significant for me, because I felt even more release that came through for me because of that. So even in a certain time frame, whatever is meant to be is going to finally, because of, especially when you're stepping more into your power. And just before it happened, I was on a phone conversation with someone, telling them that I kept hearing about the 7 seals. The 7 seals were now closing or something like that. And it was taken from the book of Revelation. And so because I kept seeing all these horses, like a white horse and a black horse, and that had to do with the whatever chapter in the book of Revelation to do with the 7 seals and the horses. And because I came into a greater awareness of it, and I was channeling whatever information, because I have that I'm going to put on a recording. I also have a Patreon account where there's some of this stuff that I put on there, but I keep it more there in a sacred space, because it's not everything I'm going to put publicly out there, but there's some things I'm going to put out there on my YouTube, because it has to shift to whoever hears it. But I will be putting that out there, that you will be able to hear everything that happens, because everything for me always synchronizes. And so because I came into a greater awareness, and it's important to be open. When I say open, meaning that if you hear something and you feel it in your heart, follow and listen to it, because that is your key to how you are releasing any of those attachments of energies that attack you or come onto you as well. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And the more you see, because I always tell people, when you don't know where something's coming from, and if somebody say, oh, somebody's doing something to you or whatever, I say, well, you know something, as far as I'm concerned, nobody can touch me. Nobody can hurt me, because I'm a child of God, okay? And I'm always protected. And I don't have to keep repeating it over and over again. So it's like you're walking and you're standing boldly in knowing who you are, and that you cannot be touched. And when you're in that space, in that God space, then you know you're set. Like we say in Jamaica, you're set. You're set.
It's like walking in the light when you're definitely walking in the light.
Yes. Until it just keeps dissipating and dissipating and dissipating. You see? Exactly.
That's
exactly.
Very well. Very, very amazing. Thank you for spraying the Florida water.
You're so welcome. Yes, get that Florida water, because that really does shift. I've gone through, my gosh, with things, and I just stay like total, like detaching from it, that even sometimes Spirit told me sometimes you have to curse them off. Like I tell her, say, fuck you and this and I'm saying bomb, all of that. And it shifts it out. It moves it away. It just moves it away right away. When you come from that solar plexus, like right here, that's the force. That's the force that's within you. See that? And better yet, when you start speaking a tongue, however, let it flow out of you. So that way you know that's how much more you're stepping into that power. And nothing can touch you. Nothing can touch you. You see? Nothing can touch you when you're in that space. And it takes, I wouldn't say practice, but it's the experience. And it's each time you go through levels of how brave are you? How courageous are you? Ooh, I am. Because, you know, I always refer to the book, the book, Neil Donald Walsh, when he talks about the moment you declare I am, then all of a sudden I am not shows up. You see, the opposite shows up. And the more you become empowered with it, is the deeper that things start coming up more to the surface, right?
That's amazing.
But the beautiful thing is that the more of us that come to say, when more of us are in that union with each other as well, you know, because like how I'm talking with you and we're connecting together with everyone on here, and as we step forward, it becomes stronger. That bond becomes stronger, and therefore there's no more. Look what I said. Look at how long we've been talking, and there's nothing.
I'm not even yawning. Someone said I'm not yawning like I usually do.
That's all right. That even yawning and burping is all a part of the processing. All of that. Even passing gas, going to the toilet, all of that is a part of what we're pushing out of the body and all of that. Absolutely. Yep.
So now
am I supposed to ask you a question?
Yep.
Okay. So what I want to ask you is, I always wanted to ask you, have you ever been deeply in love, and are you on a twin soul path? If so, how did you realize, or when did you realize you were?
Great question. So it's something that I always have to bring back to myself, even when it comes to like relationships. In high school, I had girlfriend. I had like, I'm not going to say I had girlfriends because that's not really true. Like I kind of thought I dated girls, but
what, you were flings?
They were flings. Like they weren't really real relationships. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. So I really thought
you reminded me of that movie, Mike. What was that, the guy when he was a virgin and his father was trying to break his virginity? That's what you remember when you're saying that story.
You're not talking about 30-year-old version. No, you're talking about.
No. Oh gosh, I can't remember.
His father was trying to break it. That sounds like a hilarious movie.
It was hilarious. They had like 3 versions of it. I can't remember the name of it. It was on I can't remember. But it's the one where the guy, he was a virgin, his father was trying to help. It was a very corny movie. American Pie. That's it. American Pie. That's what you remind me of.
Wow. Yeah, like even back then, like to me, I thought to be in a relationship was just walking your girlfriend to class, kissing her, and then that's it. So like I never really had a relationship, even after high school. So it was very humbling. I didn't realize this actually low-key blocked me, because I had thought even when I would connect with people recently, and I really stepped into this journey like 2013, and I would connect one-sidedly with these different women, like and they probably wouldn't even know what was going on. If I try and connect with them, I wouldn't be able to talk to them about it. They just wouldn't understand it. So I realized like I've been heavy in infatuation. I thought I was in love this whole time, but I just simulated it from my mind. So then I really sat down. I'm like, I've never really truly been in love ever in my life. Even like I've been heavily in infatuation, and I felt love in my heart. But then Spirit was like, that's not real love though. That's just your imagination. Like very Venus in the 12th, like. And I mean, there could be some sorrow attached to that, but it kind of makes me excited, because it's like, if I can experience this profound, because it taught me a lot about how powerful my soul is. Like I would feel stuff that I didn't even think was real to feel. And if I can feel all this for the wrong people and just like in my imagination, I can only imagine how real true love is. So honestly, I've seen signs, I've seen synchronicities, but maybe it's because of my logical energy. And thank you, Brito. I'm definitely, my 12th house is in Aries, so I'm gonna read what you sent right after this broadcast. But yeah, like I don't think I'm on the twin flame journey. I think that I think I've been meeting catalysts,
So
and
which
now
pill did you take?
that's a good question. See, I thought like 2013, 2014, I took the plunge. I was obsessed with this Taurus lady. Then I was obsessed with the Sagittarius lady. I thought she was my twin flame. And I was obsessed with this Capricorn woman. I thought she was my twin flame. And really, what I've learned about all that is how my toxic, obsessive behavior, blocks me from actually meeting real people. And I realized that, I used my Venus in the 12th to be with unavailable women so that I block myself from actually, being with real people. And I'm with people who I always just hope I'll be with someone that it doesn't really seem possible, even though like I feel genuine, like to this day, I can't explain why I have connections with them and I see their name and I'm just going to rationalize it.
Well, what I feel that you are not believing in it. That's why. Okay.
It's hard to believe in it though, because
it's hard to believe in it because it comes through from your lineage and not believing in it, because most of the time our parents and our grandparents, they got married just for social reasons or economic reasons and not because they were in love. So just imagine that you're carrying a template from your ancestors, your generation, of not believing in something that you've never experienced before with being in love, you see? And being in love is like something where there's no attachment, right? And it's unconditional. And you are, hey, we were on that show, the one that it says when you take the test, Maury Povich, you are on a twin soul path. I always knew that, but you're afraid of it. You're afraid and you weren't believing it.
Yeah, it's a lot more than I can control. And
it's a lot more. Yes. And not being resistant any longer, not being resistant to it. And so what happens is, because if you don't believe in it, then others may not necessarily believe in it. And then someone might feel confused about it because you're expecting it to look a certain way or how that person may be responding, or if the person hasn't shown up yet. Understand that there are many of you that are on the path and you might not have the physical person yet, because spirit wants you to remember yourself and to know what this is based on what you don't see. You see? Based on what you don't see. And so there's times when there's things that happen with my divine masculine. I was like, why did you do that? Did you do it? He's like, I didn't do that. And I realized, wow, that was coming from spirit for it to appear to me as if that's what it was when it's not. And that's why everything is pushing you from spirit, Mike, and everyone else, to stay in your heart.
What I ended up doing was like inadvertently project, because I would see these synchronicities and signs. So I do agree. I'm on the twin soul path. I just don't feel like and it's funny.
Oh, you know what? Let's change it and say true love. I heard spirit say, oh, remember, because twin flame carries such a, it carries such a vibe, like commercialization. And that's the reason why there's so many of you that turn away from it. And you see that those energies would love for you to do that because of the power that comes with this path and this connection. You see, it's about your true love. True love wins. True love never dies. True love. You see, and even when I say the word, how does it make you feel?
I instantly started to feel uncomfortable.
With me saying the word true love? With me saying the word true love? Why?
Because it's like, I thought I wanted to be in a vulnerable state. Where, and then I guess there's a part of me inside that is like dead set against it because of fear or something. Even though on the surface it's like, I've been searching for my true love. This has been so weird about it. Like, I've been obsessed with this like for the better part of my whole life. But then I realized, even though it's what I want, like,
choose it instead of wanting it.
Choose it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. And I'm not opposed to doing it, but I've just been so frustrated, which I have no right to be because this
No,
in
it's okay to feel the frustration because it's a part of the process. Because in that masculine space, we want to be in control. And then I have had to sort, because even I carry strong masculine energy, but I also carry very strong feminine energy. So I have had to surrender to my past so many times. And the part that I had to stick with more than anything else is what was being shown to me spiritually more than what was showing in the physical space. How did I feel inside my heart, right? And being vulnerable, that you're even kind of like testing yourself, like, am I strong enough to just admit and be authentic and just surrender that I'm in love? And it's about surrendering to love. And surrendering to God is love. And surrendering to love is God, because God is love and you are love. So why are we afraid of it?
well,
What is there to be?
I know in my case, the people, especially specifically a certain individual who like, I just surrender into this like pure blissful state of love. It's if I try and like, I know, I connecting with her for real, I don't think she wants to have anything to do with me.
But that's your perception.
No, I
That's
mean,
your perception.
and before, like, and you're right, because I don't know how she feels now, but I did try and reach out before, and she was like, "Don't talk to me. Like, I don't."
That's how it works.
Stop bothering me. I haven't.
That's how it works.
Time, but
but Mike, it's not about what the person may say or do. It's how does it make you feel, because that's your truth. It's your feelings. Your feelings is the truth.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm gonna, I've never felt, I feel things with this individual I've never even thought was possible. And then on top of the feelings, to this day, like I see really ridiculous synchronicities.
I know, like bombarded, right?
Yeah. And so it's like, how do I surrender to this? And then every time I do surrender, it's like I start to do things I'm not proud of myself for, like spend all day in the connection. And I'm like, I gotta do real stuff with my life.
But that is real stuff. Who told you that? What makes you think that? You see that? That's the program, because we're so used to, well, I don't want to pay attention to this because it's not normal. So I'm just going to go about my daily task. And then how many times does it happen? I mean, how many of you all here can say that you go to the bathroom, you come out, or say you're in the closet, and then bam, 222, 444, 144. Yeah. It's like, because that vibration, it's like, I call it the law of physics. Whatever has separated itself like a rubber band, it must come back to itself. Yeah. So your soul is bringing all these synchronizations, and it's bringing all this vibration, and not being resistant to it because of the fact that we carry so much core wounds and pain from the past, and also from what we have seen. Because sometimes there are people who've never had a relationship, but they're still carrying a programming from what they've seen growing up, or what they've carried from another lifetime. And so, I have to give you this because I'm so glad Spirit reminded me of this. I went to see Bill Bellamy because I love my comedy, and I went there 2 weeks ago.
That's awesome.
And he's awesome.
Yeah.
And so the question was asked of the comedian that came on before him, and he said, "How many of y'all out there in love?" And only 3 people, including myself, raised their hand. That's it, out of 200 people. And wow. I knew that was gonna happen because I observe people, and most of the time they're not in love. Yeah. They're in either frustration or disbelief, or not. And part of this is acceptance too, Mike. Really accepting.
Well, I to kind of like so I at some point I started to like project that on her, like she's the reason I'm seeing this. Like it's so like there's even a post I saw a long time ago where I was at my lowest state of like dejection, and then I see something saying like it was something like and it was an original quote, but it's like, it's sad to let go of something that you really want, even though you know that once you have it, it'll be everything you ever wanted. It's sad waiting for something that you know may never happen, even
Mm-hmm.
though you know it's everything you want. And it's like, I know astrologically I can explain the connection, but it's just
Mm-hmm.
really frustrating because it's like, I want to, but I get this
Mm-hmm.
rejection, and then the rejection hurts more than it hurts a
Well,
lot.
it's because that many of us are breaking down the attachments to the illusion of what these connections are, because it's so easy to fall back into, oh, this is a relationship. Oh, this is a relationship. This is how it should be. Instead of, this is a connection. This
So
is
it's like surrender
my
to the
heart connected.
connection.
Surrender to the connection. Yeah. Like
Yeah. And
really fully surrender to the connection
even
and let
even if
go.
she's not really in my life, basically.
Even
That's
if she's not, yeah, but she really is in your life. Remember, I told you when you asked me that question, how did I awaken to my path? And that part of my soul was already looking and searching for me from 2008, and the physical person didn't appear till 2014.
yeah.
You see, so we're always longing for something, and there's always something missing. The key thing is that we're releasing the old perception views surrounding relationships. We're raising the consciousness of the planet based on bringing back true love, unconditional love, the essence of it, and what it really feels like and looks like in the physical world. And that means we're shattering the illusions, but we have to start with ourselves first with doing this. You see?
And then I'm not gonna lie, like anytime, because that's what I got too. Like I reached a state where it's like, well, I don't think I'll ever really understand. But even if I never see her, I can surrender completely to the connection and just kind of let it be and just go.
Exactly.
But then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes and then that's when like that force comes in and I just become the runner, and it's like, nah, I need my freedom. I just doesn't make sense. And then I just go, but I always come back. And every time I come back, it's even harder. It's stronger. And I just don't understand how it can
Yeah.
make sense. So, but you know what? It's
Well,
not.
but that's the thing. That's where the masculine part of you comes in, is because the masculine has been used to being in control. They also been used to where this is all about, oh, let me find my bride, get married, live happily ever after, have kids, and they work all day. She's at home with the kids. Then you suffer. Then the arguments start. Then this one goes outside of the marriage, and it's just the same recycling, looping of energy, right? And so because we're so used to love appearing that way, that I guess from what everyone is used to and what they've also seen, and the rate of divorces and all that stuff, because that wasn't really coming from the heart space. When people stay in these false illusions and thinking that they must suffer, and so the world just appears to be suffering, and then you start to think, well, I might as well just suffer, you know? And so because we're bringing on a new template and a new energy of what this blissfulness is and what this joy really is. Now think about this, Mike. When you're in that space of being in love, and then you're also wealthy in your heart, and you're wealthy in your soul, and you're physically healthy, because that's what we're coming into that space. And it's such a high vibration that not many people have witnessed it, seen it, or felt it.
It feels like
So
home.
it's home. Exactly.
Like home, really crazy.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I don't. It feels weird too, because it's like, yeah, this is in my soul. It feels like, no, there's no way that this isn't not going to work out. You just need to be patient. But I guess there's and not that it has to manifest the way that I envision, but in my soul, it feels at home, and it's like everything's gonna be okay. Just surrender. Connection. Don't worry about trying to get yourself. It is what it is. I've even been told by some people too, oh, stop connecting. Like,
that's another block. That's the block that comes from people and families. Like, oh no, they're not talking to you. Are you crazy? And you see, what I love about this is that the power of this Christ consciousness is like, they always refer to me with movies like, King Kong ain't got nothing on me, okay? And when God is in this space of what's happening now, we're up to God stuff here. We're not up to little dibby stuff like we say in Jamaica. We're not up to little things here. We're up to great things here. We're up to magnanimous things here, you see? And so, but we lowered our vibration in order to remember ourselves in the power that comes with the kings and queens that we are. You know, it's like we're walking as this on the earth. And so therefore anything that is not what they call normal, they're going to say, no, that's not normal to you, for you to be connecting to someone that doesn't call you, or they're blocked you or stuff like that. But they don't understand. And what man does not understand, they destroy, they kill, they hurt. Because we've all been here before, and they did the same thing. They tried to destroy us. They tried to kill us and hang us and burn us and all these different, it sounds like lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, right? And you had to go deep.
I'm so glad you called it the twin soul journey, because another thing about that was there are other women that I've learned through this journey I have connections with. Like there's someone who I feel as well, it's more a light connection. Like they also feel like home too, but more in a familiar sense.
Yes.
It's really cool, but it's like I had to go experience these other connections.
Yes.
To realize that other one that I'm talking about is like the real deal, because nothing compares to that. And it's
nothing compares to it. And you'll know, it's a knowing. It's a knowing that you have.
So, but then
and there's no words to explain.
But then that's what makes me feel guilty, because it's like, okay, I have these connections with people who I know they don't ignore me and they're open, and here I am going to this one who's like ignoring.
But that's when you know that you're on a twin soul path, when they ignore you. If they're not ignoring you, no, I'm just kidding. But that's when it's
no, I need this confirmation. I started to feel guilty. I was like, okay, maybe I'm wrong for following my soul and connecting, because like, why would I ignore someone who adores me versus adore someone who ignores me? But it just feels right, and I just don't. I was thinking,
and
okay,
that's the key, is that it feels right. The fact that it feels right, and that's where Spirit wants you to trust what feels right, and not what is based on what that physical person is doing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And but that's where you get past the illusion of, well, they're not paying attention to me, so therefore it's not it. And then they go back to the narcissistic ones that's treating them bad, trying to force the connection.
Exactly. And this lady in particular is a Capricorn. I have the Cap moon, so I was thinking that's constitutes it. But I saw a meme that's like, if a Capricorn, if a Libra, if an Aries, if a Cancer hasn't blocked you, then is it even real? Like, do they even love you? So I was like, damn, okay.
Well, you know, the reason why I said it's just a joke, because it doesn't mean it applies to everyone in every way, because everyone is on a different path. It's unique. It's unique to you. You know, what was shown to me from Spirit twice is that some of us may hold templates of 2s and 3s, like heterosexual, same sex, 2 females, 1 male, 2 males, 1 female, 3 males, 3 females. So this is, see, you have to understand that the mind cannot conceive the power of the mind of God, the heart of God, right? The cosmic heart. And so the desire of the encompassing, everlasting, like, it's like it just goes beyond the imagination to experience itself through the myriad of ways in how it chooses to experience love. And that's the reason why we're here to demonstrate so many different multifaceted ways of being that love. And that means that you're going to go against what may be against the self. And even those who volunteer to be the oppressors or the, you know, whatever, because I don't go into all that. They volunteered, and we have to thank them, because we're doing this for ourselves, and we're doing this for Mother Earth, and we're doing this to be in this expression of love and be free with it. You see? So we're going to go through the doubts. You're going to go through the fears. You're going to go through the, what you call, what may not make sense, because you want it to make sense. You know what I mean? When it's crazy and when it's out of this world, you know you're on the right track.
And see, it doesn't make sense on the surface, but I get it. Like it does kind of make sense. Oh my goodness. And I know so many other people went through, but the signs, like the synchronicities are out of this
it's world. Off the chain. And even sometimes I've had signs that come up in the weirdest ways, like you just can't make this shit up.
Yes.
Like I could be watching a movie, and all of a sudden the name comes up with the other person. You could be anywhere.
Yes. Yes.
Or I'm on the phone with a claim, and then the person calls their name, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, for real.
Yes,
That's
yes.
happened.
And I'm
That's
like, what
happened.
did you say? Exactly.
Yeah, and it's like,
Yep.
wow.
Yep.
And once again, it's like I had to explore my connections with other people just so I can
Yes.
see how much deeper this other
Yes.
one was. And even still, like I'm a surrender. I'm so glad you asked me this because now I'm a surrender. But it's
I was
just
compelled to ask you that. I was going to put you on the hot seat. I thought, I'm going to get it. No, but I really was.
oh my god. No. Now I'm just like,
See, I got a hot. I had to take off my sweater. See, because I'm like, woo. Let me tell you something. Just surrender to love. Why? Because it feels good. It feels good.
It feels heaven.
And it's not your imagination. You see, I know that when you have this love that's just permeating from your heart and the joy that it brings to you, and we just want it to last. You know what I'm saying? We want it to last, and it's going to last. It is lasting. It already is. It's just to believe and know that it is so. And then you take it higher, knowing that this is how the love of God, because I even said, I said, you're very clever, that to go bring somebody to come and just trigger the fuck out of me so I can get to come back to myself, right?
Yeah.
And when you look back at yourself 2 years ago and a year ago, you weren't the same person. And so imagine now when you're coming into a greater power of yourself, and then when you bring that power together with that person and anyone else that fits into that union space, right? Because it could be a dog, it could be a bird that's a part of your union, and your twin shows up as a. I remember when I had all these different men were like, "Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, I want to send you flowers." And I was like, "Oh my God, what's all this poetry?" Because he used to write poetry in a past life, so it shows up through those people. And I knew it was coming from. I had even my phone was typing, I love you, and then the flowers, and I showed it to the young lady doing my nails, and I was just like, oh my God, the phone was, and it was coming from his higher self. So when I have those experiences, I just like, woo, I love it. It's just so like exciting. And even one time, I kid you not, because I have it on the page where the phone typed, I am a beautiful person. I'm a beautiful person 6 times. And my daughter was brilliant enough to take her PS Vita to record it. And then before my twin blocked me was when I kept getting these dreams of me singing to my grandson. And then I went and did it. And he was like, why are you doing this? And I was like, oh, because you were so happy that I was singing, to you in the thing. But then before that happened, I was in the nail salon, and the phone sent these beautiful flowers and these kisses and all this to say, and I kid you not, I have the screenshot of it, and it just made me feel so good inside. And so it was supposed to happen that way. So by the time that happened, you feel bad because you wished it didn't happen, but then it just takes you deeper into the connection and also self-love. Because you see, you have self-love, but you also remember that if you are in love and you're in love with it, but just surrender to it, acknowledge it. That's what God wants you to do. Just acknowledge this love, that even if it appears, because you're going to constantly keep testing yourself, like, do you believe in this? Do you really feel you're in love? Do you feel this is true? That's right. And even when there's times when I be like, you know what? Everybody has been in this space. Fuck this shit. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to see no more signs. I don't want no more messages. But when you really keep surrendering to it, that when it just starts, you let it flow, that just keeps flowing. And then you have that inner peace. Mm-hmm. And when you know what you know, that it's all coming together in its divine flow. Yeah. That's the key thing, just to keep surrendering. And you had to go through those other, I call them, like soulmates, catalysts, right? Yeah. So that way it was to get you to believe that there is something more than that, a lot more.
Yeah, that's how I feel now. It's like, because I really forced myself to just look elsewhere, because it was driving me crazy. It still is driving me crazy. Even now, like, I feel defeated. I guess this is what me to feel, though. Like, not in a bad way, but just like, like ready to I don't know. Like, it's just
you're surrendering. That's what I feel. You're surrendering. You're surrendering. You feel like, you know what you feel like? You feel like when they say, "Oh, you're so mush mush," because because usually with the males, especially male but masculine energy, is that, oh, if I show this type of love, then I'm going to be labeled as a pussy or a sissy, or you got pussy whipped, right? You remember the
Yeah,
comedian? What the comedian said? You got pussy whipped, boomerang.
I think so.
And you see the tables turn because he did end up finding the love.
I feel like such a lame. That's what I
But
feel.
you're not. But
Like,
you're not. You're not lame. You're just experiencing something that you never had before, and because it makes you feel vulnerable. And I got you to the core of what has been the block for you to accept it and to continue to experience it, to acknowledge it.
Too. I even had a dream early. I woke up having a dream of the person indirectly of like, someone else with that person. And it's like, why is it that I'm blocked from
ego triggers?
Yeah, and I felt it was an ego thing too. I don't know. I'm just it's weird. Like I feel defeated, but I also feel like spirit wants me to be in that position. It's weird. But other than that, like, yeah, I get the sense that I don't also have to like if I feel it, it's more important to feel the connection and to worry about specifically who it is. So even if it's someone else.
Yes. And your soul is going to test you too, where you start believing it, and all of a sudden somebody comes along and says, "Why are you believing in that? That's not true." Oh, you know what? This person is doing so and so and so. Are you going to still stay in your knowing, or are you going to, give up? You see what I'm saying? And it's always that part of you that keeps testing. Like, are you going to believe? Are you going to trust in your knowing, or are you going to go by what you see or what you think you did see or not see? Because remember, what you're seeing, they're probably not even thinking about it because they did it. It's just to trigger you to release that view you have or the perception you have.
Where I get caught up is, do they feel this too? Does she feel this too? Is she feeling this?
They always do. They always do. However you're feeling, that's how they're feeling. Because a lot of times people don't understand, there's times too where you may feel what your twin is. When you're like, say if you're in a good space and all of a sudden you just feel sad, all of a sudden depressed, or you might feel like exhausted, that it could be that that's what's happening with them and you're also experiencing, because it's a shared energy. Okay?
It feels shared.
It is.
And I got the sense that maybe on her end, just like in many cases, it's like she doesn't want to feel this for me because she's never met me before. And she's like, why do I feel something like this for someone like that who's probably not my type? And then it's like, maybe she suppresses it, but I don't want to project that. I don't want to put words in her mouth. This is what makes me feel like, what the hell at this point?
It's a supernatural connection. And you said it right, like if that person is your type or not, because, there's even cases where I remember when I just bursted out like bawling and bawling and bawling. And I tuned in, I was like, oh my gosh, he's crying because he read something or something was going on. And I tuned in. And, there was times when I was panicking and I was like, oh my God, he found out something. And I knew what it was, and I was feeling it ahead of time, because usually what happens is I experience something and sometimes they will be doing the same thing within 24 to 48 hours. That's because I observe everything. So I observed what the twin soul path is like, this is real shit. This is for real. I have seen things that both my twin and my divine complement have said that I say it or did it and it happened and it is true. So this is for real. It's supernatural. It's not
linear.
It's not linear. It's not of this world.
Yeah. Okay,
that's the best way to put it.
It feels so divine, like
it's very divine
outside. Yeah, so it is what it is, and I just like the sequence too. I could tell it was ordained, like why I had to, in the order, be attracted to who I was, because like I feel my energy stretching out. But
yes,
this talk is too heavy,
and you expand in consciousness too, because a lot of data flows between you and your twin. And just some people don't realize that. They bring in data, and the divine feminine also transmute the energy of whatever the counterpart is carrying, okay? And that's what happens between both of you energetically. Okay, so sometimes it happens in the sleep state, sometimes it happens while you're awake. Okay, and when you see the 555s, you know, something shifting with that energy between you and that person. So you can't run away from the energy because that person is you. And I feel like a lot of people tend to forget, those who are on the true twin path, that that person is you. So they are going to have it from a different experience than you, because, you know, the soul desire is to experience, say you're experiencing what it's like to forgive someone, then they're going to experience forgiveness from another element or variable than you do, but you're working through it together to come back to yourself. And that's why it's layers that you're going through, layers upon layers of this. And that's a part of what this sacred alchemy is all about.
Yeah.
You see? That's right.
You had to drop the
Absolutely. I dropped some bombs today. I knew that. What did I say? I put it, said they're going to be hearing some galactic stuff today. I don't play. I get to the core of it. And, you know, just think of how great it feels to know what a grand being that you are, you know, where you were taught to just minimize yourself and, you know, lower yourself. And when we come together, it's like a very powerful essence of love, right? And all this, that's why a lot of stuff is breaking down in the government and all that stuff. I don't pay attention to all that, but some stuff is going to stay, but it's just being rewired and reprogrammed. That's all it is. And be in total freedom, be able to express yourself. You know, you do the astrology different than others. Like me, that's how I am. I don't do nothing the same like other people. Not me. I love coming across with a different element and knowing that it's something that is breaking barriers, you know, and really just breaking down the stuff that no longer serves any of us, you see? Well, and some of us are here to lead that.
I know personally, what I'm gonna do. Like, I know I just shared with y'all vulnerably, like, who I
might. Yes, you did.
Is, but after this call, like, I'm letting go of all that. I still don't know. I don't know if that's still my twin flame or not. I'm just gonna let it go, and I'll just
put it to you this way, Mike. Whatever I told you, that's it. So stop being resistant.
Yeah, I'm gonna surrender to the connection when it comes, but I'm no longer gonna put a face to the name. Like,
okay.
When I feel the connection, I'm not gonna be like, this is who it is. I just, for now, believe that I'm letting go of anyone I ever thought was my twin flame ever, and I'm just gonna focus on the energy, and I'm just gonna leave the people. And if that person ends up coming in real life and confirming it, then I'll put the energy to the face. But I'm completely like, I'm completely defeated. I don't know. It's weird. Like, I can't. Even just feeling. I think another of it too is that I just don't want to feel. I think that's another.
But it's still subtly within you. What I pick up on, you're still a little bit in. I wouldn't say fear, but more like, yeah, well, okay, I believe in it, but I'm still gonna be cautious.
Yeah.
Because you just listen to the words you said, because I read vibration with words when you speak. And you said, well, I'm going to see first if she does something, and then, okay, then I'll be safe. Because we want to feel safe.
You're
but
right.
You have to get there, no matter what I say to you or anybody says to you, because we all have to do this within ourselves, no matter what anybody says. You see what I'm saying? And when you get there, you can't go back. Like, you can't go back, and it doesn't become wishy-washy anymore. And we all, I even had where people were saying, no, that's not the person. No. And I said, you know what? I am going to pay attention to what source tells me, because that's another element of this journey, is that God wants us to look to source, to connect to source, and not have to feel that you have to get validation even from your own twin, okay? Or whoever you connect to.
That's so true. Yeah.
That's right.
That's been the biggest part, like forcing validation. One thing that I'm grateful about this, though, the thing that I love so much about this path that I'm grateful is it revealed to me my toxicity. It revealed to me the toxic parts of me that are blocking this union from
exactly.
So it just makes me want to go back within, and that's really why I'm wanting to distance myself, because I feel I'm not really worthy of the connection, even though I consider myself a great person. I still feel like there's just, and then this makes like I really started honestly wondering, like, could I even live with another person? Like, I feel like I might have a great personality, but can I live with somebody else? Like,
you can, because it would be about you saying, can I live with myself? Because you see, the greatest love of all is within you, and then it reflects back to you from that other person. And it's really like becoming naked to your soul. And I love to give a lot of analogies. And what I recorded in the book one day, I was taking my bath and I got out of the tub and I forgot my clothes or whatever. And I had my towel and I was like, gosh, I feel so lighter anyway, Who the heck want to always be in the wintertime having to put on all these clothes? And so I gave an analogy that was given to me of when you're naked, you feel lighter. But when you have on the heavy coat and all that stuff, you feel heavy.
Yes.
So all that stuff that's within you to come out, every time you go through another layer that you peel back, and and you don't judge yourself with it, because it's a process. And I feel one of the bravest things for you to do is for you admitting you were running from it, because right now I feel there's a lot of people right now that have been doing the same thing. And I knew that's why Spirit said today is a very significant day.
Yeah.
Very significant, because what's coming in March, I believe, no, you told me February 22nd, what's aspecting, I don't know, I remember what you said.
February
Something we were.
Venus is going to be on Pluto on the South Node. Very huge. So it's all happening now. And you're so right. You're so right. And I thought I was so ready for this. I thought I was ready to come in. I didn't realize that I was really just a runner the whole time. And I was thinking they were the runner. Oh, she's blocking me. This person's blocking me. That person's not talking to me. And I don't want to make it sound like I'm getting blocked by everybody, because that's not the case. But still, it's been very humbling. It's been very humbling. Thank you so much for asking that question. We have one more round. We were getting so caught up.
I know. It's so juicy, isn't it?
It is. And if you don't mind,
no.
If I could ask you some questions after this live talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The last question I have for you is, I was gonna ask what your favorite sign and what your least favorite signs, but I'm gonna ask, what is your trademark superpower? Like, if you had a superpower that had a TM and like you could do it every time, how would you package it and what would you call it? Because you have many powers too. We've seen.
I do, yeah.
So what's like one that you use on command that had a name?
Well, I would say the greatest power I have is with my voice. That's why the book is an audiobook, because when anyone hears my voice, there is some healing that's coming automatically, and something is shifting and activating. So my voice. And of course, when I'm speaking in tongues, and don't fall off that chair.
Right.
Does my voice do that?
It's because I broke my chair earlier, so it's like,
oh gosh. Oh, someone is asking what's my sun and moon rising. My sun is Aquarius, my moon is Pisces, my rising is Taurus.
So your rising sign is Taurus.
Yes, Taurus. I am grounding the feeling of love, honey bunch, because I am also Aphrodite. I just love being in love. I'm an instigator of love. I'm the perpetrator of love, and everything is, you're going to have to be in love. When you come around me, you feel so high inside. You can't be depressed. It is so high vibration. You could feel it. You know what I'm saying? You just, even if I get depressed with myself, like they say, when you're funny, when you're cracking up at your own jokes by yourself. That's what it is. And each person that does the same thing and give themselves permission to be in this, like, because even the vibration that I am now, they're telling me it's just increasing and increasing and increasing, and it's accelerating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my voice is the power tool for me. And I'm very conscious of where I place the power, because I know that as I speak it and it goes out there, that immediately it's done. Right? Now, I also know, and I'm aware that the lower part of myself is also involved with this. And so the key thing is that just because you may not see it in your physical reality doesn't mean it's not happening. But the beautiful thing is that now we're in a time of things are happening rapidly in manifestation. So be conscious of what you speak and what you project. mindful of your thoughts. If you feel yourself feeling down or feeling like you're going back to a place of doubt, which is normal to go through that. It's a part of the process, because it's almost like I describe it like the nutty professor. Like I said, I refer to a lot of movies, because it's easier for one to really understand and understand where this is leading to. And you remember when he was fighting with himself because he didn't want to accept himself with the weight that was on his body. And so, but the part of himself that was slimmer, that was the dark side, right? And so he had to finally integrate himself. So imagine now, I'm going to drop a bomb here, not a real one. 144,000 is also 144,000 chakras, 144,000 parts of you that is coming together, that's being activated. And it's almost like having multiple personalities. So people who they label as having multiple personalities, if you saw, what was that other movie? It was recent. I think it's a part of Marvel, and because I always watch Marvel comics, it's the Split. Oh, I remember. And what happened was that all those personalities came out. So this is you, and all the identities that you have created with yourself, your soul self, I'm talking, is what's coming together. So I always recommend to have a past life regression. Or if you don't, then you have the ability to do it yourself. Just be open, talk to your team, talk to your higher self and say, hey, show me what, and that means that you're prepared to be brave on what's going to come out, because this is the time now where we're going through so much of what we call a life review, because when you leave out of your body, you go through a life review. And when you go through that life review, that means that everything is spinning so quickly with yourself, like you're watching your own movie. And that means that you're going through, how did you feel with this experience with this person, and how did that person, because we're all at a place where we're not only having the experience within ourselves, but also you're going to feel how the other person feels. So that's why whatever you do to yourself, you're doing it to another. And your twin is the biggest mirror to what is coming. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. That's right. So that's the key thing. You're bringing all of yourselves together. And while you're doing that, you're releasing all the blocks to coming back into your great avatar self. And you're also releasing the blocks of what have been accumulating through all the generational cycles of pain and slavery energy, the mental slavery, the emotional slavery, the physical slavery. Like, step out of those stories now. Time to let them go, ladies and gentlemen, and, creatures and one and all. Let them go, let them go, let them go. Okay? Dance your way through it. And, it may not be fun, but just know that the light is really truly at the end of the tunnel. You don't have to physically die, but you are going through so much. We're all going through major death and transformation. And it does hurt. It does. But it is worth it, because it even will show on your body and your skin, And we may not know completely what it's going to look like, but guess what? We're not alone in this. When Yeshua walked on the planet, he was doing this alone. People were more ignorant, back then. And so now we're completing that cycle. We're getting it to the greatest point where it has never ventured before, you see? And it can be quite scary because we don't know what it's going to look like. But the key is to stay present. Stay present with it. Stay now, and not go ahead of yourself in the future. And, you see what I'm saying? And if you feel doubt or whatever, then Spirit will bring someone to you. You see what I'm saying? To help you.
Done that all the time.
All the time, right?
It's through you, through many people. It's like stuff that you never tell them. They'll tell you what you were thinking.
Yes, and it's amazing. It's amazing all the time. All the time. And it's quick. Yes. It's very quick.
Yes.
You see? And even with Jesus, when he did things, he manifested things in seconds. He went from years to months to days to hours to minutes to seconds. And so we're really bringing in that template of how we are manifesting. And so the difference is that it's not going to be where we're, having to have control over another or trying to outdo the other one. Everyone is going to have their own type of magic, and you own your shit. Own your magic, no matter what it is, just like X-Men, okay? Everyone is going to be continuously templating more and more of themselves, and just that some may be bringing it in, and then they're afraid of that power that they have with themselves, and other people are afraid of the power that they're seeing, and then they'll say that it is the demons and the devils and whatever, right? So we are demonstrating ourselves as whatever it is that has existed throughout humanity's time, and we are templating that greater part of ourselves, greater, magnanimously, more than. And the team, when I say the team, it's like there's so much galactic beings that's around right now that I'm sensing. Like they're showing me like it's about like hundreds of thousands. I'm seeing it for everybody, whoever's on here. I'm just seeing it like a huge cosmic thing going on right now. So I don't know if you could see what's aspecting at right now. Where I'm at is 8:30. Where I'm at is 8:30. But they're making me feel like something's aspecting right now as I'm speaking this.
So right now, speaking this, let me actually show you guys. So right now, because you're 100% absolutely correct. So we have the moon that's 5 degrees. Mercury is 27 degrees, sextiling all this activating Aries energy, when communicating it for all of us. And then we have Saturn 15 degrees, and then Jupiter is about to be 20, trining this. It's sextiling the sun right now. So whatever is happening right now is profound. And then we have the moon squaring Venus. So that's what you're talking about. Moon squaring Venus. Exactly. I think it's probably one of the triggers, which, wow. And just like people said in the live chat, please hit that like button. This energy that we're all generating is so amazing. So thank you.
A code is coming through. So
I think we have one more question.
Yeah, you were saying it was coming out. So yeah,
it's exciting.
Yes, you said you had another. I have a question, or you just questioning?
You have one more question,
okay,
and then we can get into
okay, sure. Okay, so. And you know, so funny that the questions that I asked you, I had written them in like a 1, 2, 3, and it ended up going in different, and the energy just flowing in that perfect. So the question I had is, I have been having so many visions of 2020 to do with what's coming in for the year 2020, and a lot of people have been getting also messages. What is your feeling on how twin souls, sacred partnerships, because it's also about sacred partnership collectively, how do you feel it will impact the ascension of the planet, chart-wise, if anything, or what you sense for 2020 when it comes to this?
Amazing question. So the ones who are really going to spearhead this are the Pluto Sagittarius kids, all the ones born after 95, and then also Pluto Scorpio too, basically the 90s kids and some of the late 80s. So someone like you has already kind of graduated. So this is why, like, the late 80s into 90s, by 2020, they will have officially stepped into adulthood. And so now these unions are going to bring out a lot of the psychic power. We're going to see a revolution when it comes to relationships, whether soulmate, whether twin soul. I think people will now look at it outside of a label and really start to see the relationship with themselves mirrored with relationships with other people. And even though there might be some chaos, I think this is going to be such an amazing period to start to see the age of Aquarius and how much I think we're going to break through as a collective to where everyone is doing, like, everyone's very self-absorbed. Everyone is like, look at me. This is my personality. This is my personality. And I think by 2020, we're going to start to see the emergence of more couples come forth as a person, like a true union, where it's like you have the masculine and the feminine coming together as one, and then, you know, a lot more couple YouTube channels, a lot more couple artists. I think we might major artists that are duos instead of just singles or in groups.
Yes.
Very amazing. So,
and I would love to, if we have time, I know we went with my daughter
We have time.
to do some of her rapping,
Yes,
her
she's really
freestyle
awesome.
rapper. She's off
She's
the
really
chain.
She's a
Off
Virgo,
the
right?
chain. She's a Virgo, yes.
Nice. Yeah, your daughter's
Yes.
she's really cool. So all right, so we're done with the 3 questions game. I know you wanted to read some readings, but just so that
Yes.
let's do something more general first. So we can
Okay.
start off by just channeling general messages, and then if you want, I think you could see the live chat, so you're welcome.
Yes, I could see the live chat because I made sure to be by my desktop so I could see the live chat.
So you're welcome to answer any questions that are asked to whenever you want to.
Okay. Do you mind if I go to the restroom and then
Yeah,
I'll
go
be
ahead.
right back? Okay. And I'm not taking the earpiece so you can hear me now.
I'll take a break myself too. I'll be right back.
Okay, I'm right back.
Jesus Christ, y'all. I knew this was going to be an amazing peace talk. I knew this was going to be great, but I didn't know it was going to be this great. Like, Jesus Christ. I didn't know I was going to get hit with the bomb like that, too. Y'all see me talking about Twitter flames? Oh, my God. Y'all in the chat are so amazing, too. I'm glad we could connect. I want to reiterate, this is a whole ceremony. We're about to do an actual short ritual too. I'm so glad because like seeing someone with her energy, it's very much so ascended mastery. And thank you once again for sharing that with us. Please take the reins. If we can do a bit, if we can do for a bit like an activation ritual right now, which this
Sure.
but yeah.
Absolutely. And just know that if anybody else went to the bathroom, your body is releasing energy. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wanted to make sure. Your body's releasing energy. And even after the spirit is telling me that you're going to probably feel like you can't sleep or anything like that. It's okay. It's all a part of the process. And you also go back and listen to the recording again from the beginning to get the code, because what happens is the codes come in layers. Okay. So even when by the time you go to another level and you go back and listen to it, it's going to also push you and center you into another aspect of yourself. Yes. My birthday is Sunday too, so I won't be reading on Sunday. Oh, that's so lovely. So anyway, let's just inhale and exhale. Okay. And inhale and exhale again. And make sure that you have your arms kind of opened out, so because that's your energy and your receptivity with receiving. Many times we have had so much blocks to receiving, which includes receiving love, receiving abundance, feeling as if we're not worthy of love and abundance, in which we are, because we're so used to minimizing ourselves. So just keep your arms open right now and just inhale again and exhale. Mother, Father God, I want to thank you for this moment, this time and space continuum, because even as we're here now in this physical space, we're also in other dimensional space, because there is no such thing as time. There is no such thing as what is not, because everything is in the is space just as much. Gratitude for those who are awakening even more to themselves and more to their powers. They're also releasing themselves when it comes to forgiveness, letting go, just letting go of attachments, outcomes, circumstances. We're letting go of any confusion, and we're really allowing ourselves to come into a greater sense of peace with higher wisdom and higher knowledge and inner knowing. Asanda shikitu similar patam pikilo pitere pesendo kutishmara pete kelamda kitunda la batinda la batanda la bekipusta la beresette la bekitunda. Aile shudu kuti seneme tekunu uri bela bate kindera patakune salate shukuni bera pakande la betere bekitu sire bete chuna bate kentombe. Amdere suti silama tikero kwitila mere kelamru kuni bela la tetu kushunu mana bete kinome. Ani bete tukuri. As we're here and I'm visualizing us being in a circle. In a circle, we're holding hands energetically. And as we're holding hands energetically, this circle is like a protective energy. And I see fire. All the elements of ourselves come together: fire, water, air, and earth. And just know that love has returned in our hearts, and that we're allowing that the energy as we move closer and closer to Pisces, that we're connecting more to our hearts, and we're allowing the waters to, let the tears flow. Spirit says, allow yourself to be free and let the tears flow as we are cleansing and purifying our hearts and purifying our souls and purifying the essence of anything that has existed before us, that we can now let go. Let go. Come now, I'm to chama, mutama, ito, namina, doctor ma. I'm here to come in, I'm saying that channel, we tell me to come down, come to not telling you, not that you may die, so that. In a little tune, and I'm telling you, I tell you, you come get you, not to the neighbor to see neighbor. I'm here to the return of to near, but can I tell you, so she take a tiny ticket to the basic you might find yourself crying because they're showing me that this energy is pulsating through all the cells of your body. And those of us who are on here now, they're showing me like we were back in Asia. It is a very powerful energy, and it's like the energy of like a vortex that's opening up there, and that there's a lot of things that are flowing through from that part of the continent that's connecting to Lemuria, because the divine feminine is even more into her own power and connecting to the divine masculine. Let us just hold space for the divine masculine as she is surrendering to herself through this power. As we are all one. We are all one body of this consciousness. And so as we are permeating this through from the top to the bottom, all the parts of the self that comes together in this oneness space, and that we know that all there is and that all has ever existed is love, and that whoever you are connected to, that this connection is through the divine purpose, divine power, And this essence is what that has always existed throughout time and millennium, and there is no separation. There is no separation, as we're all one. Peace, peace, peace be with you. Peace be with you. Muy bien. Yes.
Amen.
Amen.
That was awesome.
I say so it is.
That was amazing. And so it is.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. It was a huge, huge activation.
Aha, activation. Great. So I'm definitely going to be, please everyone be mindful. Shout out to Marsha who tears came for. Be mindful of what happens directly during and after this broadcast. I'm starting to feel energy well up too. So I got blessed and I got exchanging gifts, which I feel is like our soul essence will be exchanging with the right people. Yes. Message in a bottle too. So that's amazing. And I'm starting to feel this unseen energy well up within me. It's like a heavy energy that I didn't feel before. So it's awesome. I'm gonna hold true to that.
Yeah, when your higher self is coming in more, you're gonna feel heavy in your body. So it's a part of the process. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. See, I'm so sleepy now, like I'm drugged.
I feel yeah. Yeah. I thought you're gonna feel you're yawning a little bit at some time, but it's because your body is coming like you because you're open, you're letting go. Like I said, the more you let go, is the more the true aspect of yourself is coming in, and there's less resistance. And so that's why your body's responding with yawning. I'm
feeling guided to say that whatever, not just, I was going to say whatever you do, but specifically when you were speaking the light language that you.
No, it's not light language, honey. That's strong language.
Strong language. Oh,
I'm just kidding.
The cosmic joke. I love it. I got that when you were speaking. You actually activated power in every single one of us, and
I know
deeper power. And you actually said, I don't know why I just repeated it, but you did call it activation. So
you could feel it. I almost wanted to jump out of the chair, but I had to contain myself because it was so like I felt tingling, and it's because of connecting to everyone because we're doing it together.
Yeah,
we're doing it together in unity. So it is true. Where two or more gathered, it is power.
Yes,
power. Yeah. And we didn't go anywhere. We stayed right here in this presence, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very true. Very true. So, I mean, I'm just so grateful. It's interesting. Aquarian essence, Aquarian insight that we had episode 88 has a Virgo moon. And
I watched her. Yes.
And those two, I would say, have been my best peace talk. I think this is the best peace talk we've had so far.
Oh, thank you.
You can see we've had amazing peace talks. I would say both you and Aquarian Insight.
And it's probably going to be your longest peace talk.
Yes, the longest, but every minute.
Just to let you know that Spirit, when I said it's undeniable as Nefertiti, that TT at the end of the name means talkative. And so my longest segment I have on my YouTube is actually 8 hours long. I kid you not.
Wow.
8 my longest conversation, because it's like people say, Sharon, I could talk to you forever. It's like I know in my soul just don't know when to shut up. She don't know when to just let me go to sleep. And have me driving and videotaping at the same time. I mean, it's crazy, but it's like you really let go and you're conscious of it and you just let go and allow that greater part of you just shine and keep it going. You see what I'm saying? Just shine and believe in yourself and know that you're not the only one, that you got me. You Spirit got your back. Just know that every one of you on here, Spirit got your back. You are protected. You are divine. You are divine. Okay?
Amen.
That's right. So, okay, so you wanted me to give a general, or are you doing more cards?
Oh, yeah, let's do general. I'll even just channel too instead of I just wanted to put cards for the activation.
Yeah, because I know there's a new mic in town right now.
Yeah, it's word.
Word up.
Yeah, I finally got to a place last night where I was like, I'm ready to just channel mess. I was ready years ago, but now I feel confident without needing cards, just giving intuitive readings. Like,
Yes.
what I'm
Yes.
going to do, like three days a week. I'm going to start this in July. I'm speaking into existence now, but especially if you're in the Vegas area, I'm going to go to Fremont, and just like they vend out there, I'll have a table, free aura readings, and I'll just give people
Good.
free intuitive readings who come up, and then I'll just give my card and just
Yes.
like serving that. So
yeah, I used to use cards too. I do card readings, but I don't really do it so because everything that comes up in the cards is what I pick up on anyway, because I really read energy. And you know, spirit already shows me that you're all like a walking encyclopedia. You're like a walking Google. You tune in and trust me, it will flow. It will be shown to you. It's undeniable. And to trust that, because you know, when you think of the cards, sometimes in some cases, I'm not saying in all cases, it can give you direction, but when you're really tapping in and connecting to source energy, it's a higher connection.
Yeah.
And it's wider. And it's freer. It's lighter also. It's lighter.
That's what's
so
up.
Yeah. So the general message, because I already was like tuning into spirit from yesterday, the day before, and I was like, okay, what you guys want me to specifically? Because this is about how much we're cracking the codes.
Yeah.
And I already had cracked the code so much because I just keep going like in higher dimensions, and then I bring it back down, and then it gets pretty lonely at times. I'm like, oh my God, you know, and I know it's because I'm just this is what I'm here for, to just bring all the pieces together. And so what I had to go deep into is what has been the main blocks to who we are, what we're here for, what is our purposes, and navigating through it, being at peace, being in a greater inner balance, all of it, right? Is that pay attention to your experience. Experience is the greatest teacher. That's a basic. So if you know you're connected to someone, do not be in resistance to what is so, okay? And that whatever is meant to be will still be, of course. And even though we have free will, Spirit says there is still divine will. Divine intervention has taken place now. We're in an energy of divine intervention. We're in a sequence of divine union, sacred intervention. It is a sacred path. It is not a secret, but it is sacred. And I say sacred in the sense that some people might think that it's just something to commercialize, say, oh, this is my twin, and this is this, and this is that. No, that's not it. When you put yourself in that place of realizing that and coming to a greater self-realization, what will happen is everything around you will start to vibrate towards you as such, okay? And it can feel at times to be a struggle, but this is a part of the path, because you cannot know yourself if you did not experience the opposite of yourself. We all desire to know ourselves, and we incarnated here to experience it through this density. And as we're rewinding back and going back to even how it was in the beginning of time, Spirit says it's not the same way it was in the beginning of time, because this is greater than how it was from the beginning of time. Do you understand? This is greater than the time of Atlantis. This is greater than before Atlantis, because you know there was before, just that it wasn't recorded in history.
You're right.
That's you see? Exactly. So we're going releasing the stories a lot, and feel, not think, about how you're feeling being in love. How you're feeling being in love, because being in love is what cracks all of this. It breaks it up into many pieces. Okay? So you think of something breaking up into so many pieces, and you're now sweeping it out and releasing it and remaining in your truth with that, because it has been that there are others who know that something huge is happening on the planet, and there's some who may be turning away their noses from it, but it's not about, you know, just stay in your lane. Can't give any fucks, because once you start giving that away, then you go right back into, oh gosh, poor me, look at this, a victimization, and you get off track again. So surround yourself with those who are in a high vibration. Surround yourself with those that even if there isn't anyone left, that's okay, because spirit is going to bring someone else that matches your frequency, that matches your vibration. They may not necessarily be on the same path. Sometimes people who will be there for you may not necessarily be on the same path, because it's not about, oh, I just want to be around people who are on a twin soul path. No, or a sacred path. It's even those that you're integrating with that may be just into religion, or they may just be an atheist, or they may just be something different, because it's about bringing love together in all places and in many different ways. You see, because if you go into separation consciousness, then you're going right back into the illusion. You're going right back into the chaos and all of that. Okay? And so everything has existed to what has diminished the divine feminine. She mustn't speak up. And when I say divine feminine, that includes those who are in the male bodies. That also, we all have divine feminine energy. We all do. And think of how or what you can do to change something about yourself, because it'll raise your vibration. Your hairstyle, if you wear the same type of clothes all the time, whatever brings you joy, do it. Think about how many things that you've desired to do that you felt that that joy was taken from, because all of that plays a part in how you're giving rise to yourself. When you're making love, if you're not erected, you can't do nothing, right? So you're going to be in a space of lifting your vibration, right? And coming into that space that at some point you may trigger or open up your kundalini, which is necessary. That'll open up even more of what is in the deep root part of your pineal gland. That's going to activate more of yourself. And that means that you may be guided to leave from where you are. You may be guided to separate or leave from a particular relationship. Time to do that. Stay on that path. You see what I'm saying? Because the true essence of what we're here for is resurrecting ourselves, coming back from the dead. Everything else that has been dead, it can no longer serve its purpose. When Yeshua walked the planet, he saw the fig tree that no longer, he said it has to go. That's it. You're planting a new seed now, a new time. Am I right? So stay in love. Stay in love, honey bunch. Play music from the 60s, 70s, 80s. Stay in love. When you do that, whoo, man, that's right. Stay in love.
Heart space.
Stay in that heart space. Yes.
I didn't realize that I could feel love like that. And then it started making me ask, is it possible? Like, now my goal is to feel that without needing to think of somebody or somebody else, and to just evoke it on my own. Because I didn't realize that I could even go that deep. And then it's like, well, why can't I?
Yes, it goes deep. Yes, yes. So, and you know, having this piece is like, you know that something's going to come together with everything, right? But you're at peace if it doesn't happen with your twin, but you know it's going to happen. It's like you really let go on it on both ends. Like, you know, but you're not attached to it, and you're okay. You're at peace. See, when you know that you don't have anything with anyone that triggers you, what they say, or the drama stuff and the emotional stuff, and you're at a place where you really don't give a fuck. I mean, you really can't give it seriously. And my kids can vouch for you. They know. They're like, damn, mommy. What kind of parent are you? No, I love my kids to life. But they know me. It's like, I just do whatever. It's like being in such a freedom. It's such a freedom. And you still can experience the joy and the love that comes from everyone around you. So see your twin in everyone. That even the ones that you may have to break away from because that time has served its purpose. They may come back, they may not. You see what I'm saying? But know that everything that comes within you and outside of you, that you're in gratitude for the universe or whatever name, because you don't get caught up in all the names. And there are names that, you know, hey, we've carried each name and all these things, because then what happens is, again, you get off track again, and then the focus is away from love and the focus is away from your past. And it's all these little tricks and stuff that come in. I call it tricks, and I say tricks are for kids. Because you see, when you see through it, that's why I had so many blocks, because you see, when I come with it and I speak it, you're going to say, hey, you know, why do I need to stay in this program anymore? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to ask yourself, am I taking the red pill or the blue pill? What are you choosing? You know what I mean? And even whatever you choose, Spirit is still going to bring you back on track again, right? Am I right? Bombarded with messages. Even in my own house, when I saw this license plate said God NAA, and I was like, oh, I don't give a rat. I don't want no more signs. And I wasn't going to take a picture. Come home, my phone gives off a signal that it's getting full. Okay. And I knew it was a lot of energy. So I said, okay, I'm going to delete out, the photos. And what did I see? A photo of the same license plate that I took a year and a half ago, and it still popped up in my phone within 24 hours that I saw the other woman. I said, I don't want to take no more pictures. You see what I'm saying? So you can't run away from it. And that's why God is taking you, no matter how tough you think you can be, no matter how much you think your twin, they love you. They love you. They have always been in love with you. They've been in love with you for centuries. It's a love that has been just always in existence, everlasting, everlasting. See, never ending. Alpha and the Omega, the beginning, the end, the first, and there is no ending. It's just it's just continuing and continuing, and just to see yourself being wrapped up in that type of love, because it is truly the love of God showing up. And God said, if I didn't give you this person that offends you, then how would you know what love is if you did not experience it? And when you get to that place where you forgive that person, but then you know to stay away from them and let go, but you still love them, but you love yourself more, and you're able to let go, that's true love too, because that's a part of your true love. See? That's a part of your true love. Yes.
Could we hear your daughter freestyle?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me get it, because I told her make sure she get her butt ready. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Cool. That's what's up.
Charlize, you're on.
So not only do we have an activation, we have a live freestyle performance by a master of consciousness, aka Virgo, which is awesome. Virgos go through the best Libras, which come into artistry. So this is great to see live in real time.
No, I'm gonna put them on you. How does that work?
I'm gonna turn it around. I think. Can I turn it around?
Yep.
Can I turn it around, Mike?
Yep. Yes, you can.
Oh, I don't see it.
How you doing in selfie mode?
No, I was trying to figure out how to turn it on you. That's what I was talking about. Okay, well, I guess then maybe you just have to stand in front of it and I'll play the music, because I'm the DJ too, you know. I'm the DJ too. I'm a hey man. I'm a hey man.
All
so
right.
she said that, come and introduce yourself. This is my mini me.
Oh, hello.
How you doing?
Say greetings to Mike and greetings to the $1 Million Vibe Tribe.
Hello, $1 Million Vibe Tribe.
Greetings.
$1 Million Vibe Tribe. But still
$1 Million. Oh, that's right, my bad.
Okay,
$1
Trillion.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. See.
I know.
So tell them about yourself.
About myself. Oh,
yeah.
I'm a freestyle rapper and a regular rapper also. Like I write lyrics but I mostly freestyle. So
that's
and I also dance.
And
you got
dance.
you got that look too. You look like you're about to just murder the freestyle. Like, yeah, I'm gonna share my talent real quick. That's what's up. How old are you?
I'm 15.
Oh.
And how long have you been rapping?
I've been rapping since I was 9.
Oh.
Tell them your YouTube and your
my YouTube Sunchild. You know, it's very hard for everyone to pronounce that name for some reason. They say
Could you spell it?
Sunchild or San.
He said to spell
it's
it.
S-A-N child.
S-A-N child. I'm gonna put it in the description box below.
Okay. And your YouTube. Tell them your
No, that is the name of my YouTube.
Oh, then your Instagram then.
My Instagram is charlize.green.
Charlize, how do you spell Charlize?
Like the actress? Charlize Theron?
C-H-A-R-L-I-Z-E.
Yeah.
Awesome. .green. Okay. And is your YouTube channel with the pineapple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And tell them why you named yourself Sandchild, because I asked her that.
It's not Sand. I'm tired. Why I keep saying it? It's San and
she's really Virgo, Mike.
Yes, she is.
She gets so technical all the time.
God. Okay, so basically, San in Japanese is 3, and I was born in 2003, so I'm 3 child. San child. That's right.
You're gonna be an amazing artist. You already are, but it's nice that we got to see you before you're mega famous and super like busy. We got. I love the confidence. I love the confidence. It's amazing.
You don't know what it took to get her to that place, but anyway.
I always had confidence. What are you talking about?
Is it working? All right, rock and roll.
Can I always use like
Do whatever you want to do. Ready?
So do I actually need this mic?
You don't have to. It's up to you. Start again. She wanted to do 21 Savage for him.
Yeah, because you know he's really going through it right now.
Yeah.
Sad. Hey, 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 hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Hey, yeah.
I know you see her Millie Rock, y'all. That's what's up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Always knew someday I'd be somebody. So run up on you like a tsunami. Always trying to master my craft like origami. So but my bars are not for copy. Hit your chest just like it's chronic. Sorry man, but it's just like tonic. Ain't it really quite ironic? Hit him like the plague, ain't no bubonic. Oh my god, I feel like I'm moving over the seas, coast to coast. Can you not see that I'm about to blow up and you can't even believe? Oh my god, I feel like a G. Oh my god, I feel like Charlize. That's cause I am what I am. Oh snap, bring it back, bam, 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 bam. Oh my god, always knew that I could blow up on the spot. Hey, I keep on rolling and rolling like a roller coaster. They trying to pull up on me. Do I know you? No, I don't. We ain't homies. You already know how it go. Hey, don't step on my toes. No, you already know I'm about to go back up. Don't even act up. Let me put my swag up. I don't want to do that. No. You know that it ain't for show. Yes, it's freestyle. Yes, I'm wildin'. Yes, I'm stylish. What's my name? My name's Sunchild. It is, hey, the greatest. Please don't hate on me. I just made it. You talking about how I'm just fading. I'm about to bring it up and don't even try to take away my style. Don't talk smack on my name. Don't talk smack on my game. You already know what I do. I'm gonna put your ass to shame. Don't ever try to pull up on me. I'm singing with the two vocals. Call me Michael Blue Blade. You already know. If I say his name right, I don't really care because I ain't gonna put myself in check. You already know what's next. Don't even come up to me. Better watch out. Oh my god, honestly, I'm rapping on the beat like the youngest prodigy. Might as well be running through the room and scare him like it's Monsters Inc. I don't gotta think about it. You already know I'm at the brink. Hey, rocking the city, release the pretty. Oh my god, you think you see me? I'm about to blow up on the scene like it's movie. Call me Blue Scene. Oh my god, it's Fist of Fury. You so curious about why I'm doing this. I'm too mysterious, immaculate. I'm too amazing. It's so magical. I cannot understand it. I don't even got to go hand it. I'm gonna hand it back to you. I'm gonna throw it up in the air like a lob. Bring it back. Watch me groove. Bring it around like SpongeBob. Like, yeah, okay. Okay. Hit it with the smooth moves. Hit it with the smooth moves. Don't mess with me. I'm in my groove. Okay, I know you see it. Okay, I know you see it. Blow up. Hey, pull up like Smooth Museums. I guess I'm just too classy. I guess they trying to get at me. So what? Blow up like Acme. So bad, I'm bad like yo Acme. And you really think they get back at everything I do? I don't toss mad because I ain't got time for that. No. Ain't games, no shame in the way I'm riding the wave. If you ever try to get at me, I'm gonna get you a jet ski when you decide to hop on my wave. That's the part you too far away. Oh my god, I can't speak English. Maybe I'm. Hold up. Let me slow down. I don't want to rap too fast. Matter of fact, feel like I'm about to cause a hassle. For these silly bastards really think that they can master my crap. I'm sorry, but I'm the master of what I'm at. You already know I don't give no gas. You already know I don't say what's happening. Because I already know what's going on the captain. Hey, hold on. Wait a minute. I'm like Barbosa, too immortal. You can never mess with me. I'm sorry. I already told you I'm 10 toes down. Hey, I ain't messing around. Hey, what I say again, I'm SpongeBob. I bring it around town. Know what's going down. Surround sound. Oh my God, they talking about me. They laughing like I'm the clown. Like I'm a joke of the party, but I'm the life of the party. You already know. Hardy. But you hardly even know me. Told you that I show it. Hey, showing up and I'm bringing change and I'm bringing all the money. You cannot hop on my wave. No, I'm the same. Hey, they gonna get mad at me because I'm philosophical. Call me Kanye, but hey, I'm still gonna keep it a little easy. Keep it on ease. You see me? I'm feeling like I'm just gonna blow up. They can't even show me. Please me. Oh my God. Hey, somebody, hey, stop me. Feeling like I'm about to pop off. Oh, nah. Hey, non-stop. Hey, ain't nothing to say. Hey, they can't even appreciate the way that I hop sway. Hey.
Fire.
hey, 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 hey.
I'm dropping fun flex bombs on
What
this.
you finna do? Hey, oh my God, it's cool. Hey, swag on him. I swag on him. Hold on, wait a minute, drop a bag on him. If they can't take on me, that's okay, cause I can take on myself. Like, hey, 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 hey.
And that's Charlize.
Give it up for Charlize, y'all. I'm
That is Charlize. She the bomb.
I'm dropping another fun flex bomb right now.
Okay.
Y'all ain't ready. She's only 15, son. She's only 15. Master flex type.
Hey, hey, hey. Okay, let's go. It's an old school rhythm. It was given since I was born in '03. I'm making smooth moves and I'm crazy. I know lately you ain't never seen a girl like me spit like I'm a crazy lady. Yes, it's kind of shady. You can't even make me greater than I already am. Yes, I'm confident. Every day I do my dance and I ain't never gonna stop. I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna make it pop on you like I'm Tupac. And you know what we do is thug life. You can never do nothing about that, right? I feel like maybe I shouldn't turn up. I'm just too ripe. I know you can't even mess with this type. I know you walked in talking about she probably even write it, but I think that I'm the Midas and you can never really fight me. I'm going up and I'm blowing up like I'm a freaking titan. I'm taking over the wall. Yes, I'm so colossal. You already know I talk what I talk. I'm a philosophical person. I don't want to spit worse and worse, cause you know if I spit these words in person, they be losing their mind. Talking about it's a verse. That's strictly verbs and verses that they never heard before. Yeah, I'm taking the floor and I blow it up some more. Yeah, I'm taking the floor, feeling like my own course. Yeah, I know that you can't get enough of this. I know it's untouchable. I ain't just a kid. I'm living it. Old school track and we bringing it back. Hey, old school track and we bringing it back. Listen to that. Run it. Listen a minute, let me flip the situation. Now we're on the bank, finest diamonds on my ranks. I straight off the ranks, dropping Cuban links. Drip too hard, just might need a new sink. Oh my God, what you think this is? I never stop. Hold on. Watch it drop, hey. Yeah, we rocking with the Fugees. New moves, too smooth for them, they just clueless. Oh my God, walk through with the swag on them. Okay, well, we finna bag on them. So you talking all that crap, talking about I'm just too, just dust. Matter of fact, you crusty, you disgusting me. No discussion, you already know. Hitting with percussion with the 808s. I'm far away, I'm feeling like what I say again. I feel like Kanye. Too far away, way. Come on, man. Hop off me now. Hey, hop off me now.
Yay! Woo! Charlize to the bomb.
Yo, I low-key have
She's
like a headache.
fire.
Drop that bomb on him.
Drop that bomb. See, she dropped bombs too. You see?
Yeah.
She drops bombs. No, I'm really proud of her. She was at the Apollo last year, and she will be back this year at the Apollo Theater in New York. I will post the date. I need some more of my folks to clap for Charlotte. She came in first place, and I just know she's a winner.
She came in first place?
She came in first place.
At first, it was a tie. Okay, so basically there's like 3 people, and I got in first place, but it was a tie with somebody else, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta do a tiebreaker," and then I lost the tiebreaker. It was,
but it's okay. It was an awesome
experience. You're still the winner. It's all good.
Still the winner. That's right.
That's facts.
And let's just be clear, like I, as a fellow freestyling.
Yes, Mike freestyles too, bro. For real, you'll be freestyling with Mike.
It took me like a couple years to get to the point where you're at right now. So all respect to you. Like it's not easy to freestyle off the top.
But you know, it's really your higher self that's bringing in the lyrics and the knowledge that comes with it. And the first chapter of the book, it was actually Tupac Shakur that I was channeling, because I do channel a lot of artists that have come to me with messages, and truly we're awakening through hip hop. Okay, ding ding ding, another bomb drop again.
When I lived in Orange, New Jersey, I used to live down the street from Naughty by Nature and Lauryn Hill. So
wow, no coincidence. That's right. You're a Jersey,
Jersey man. In Jersey, yeah.
Wow.
East Coast. So I mean, this brought back a lot of memories. Once again, I want to reiterate, like freestyling is not easy. I started freestyling with my friends who kind of got me into it like 21, 22, and like I was not really, didn't have trust in myself. Now I'm like 28 and I can do a solid flow freestyle like I know, channel higher vibes all the time. And
Charlize will teach you the Millie Rock.
Right? I really rock too.
You've been trying to get that Millie Rock going up for a long time. But you know what? It's all good. It's all good.
So to see you do this at 15, exactly, practice. To see you doing this at 15, so inspiring.
She just comes with it, and it's just awesome. It's like she just comes, she just spits it, and she didn't memorize it. This is her in her form.
Memory. I honestly have the worst memory. I could never remember everything. You tell me something right now, I might forget it.
It's amazing. That's so awesome. So I mean, thank you all so much. This is the great.
He said, "Thank you, Mike,
for allowing me to rap."
Yeah, likewise, and thank you for sharing your gifts once again.
And did you feel the shift in that vibration? Also, we shifted over to something else. The music and the vibration of the hip hop. Really, yeah.
That was soulful. That was awesome. So, I mean, I guess to close, do you have any advice for anybody who's walking this path? Well, first of all, I have the links to Sandchild and your IG, and I have the links to your IG and YouTube. So how can people connect to both of you if they want to collab with you or if they want to get readings from you, Sharon?
Okay. To get readings from me, you could send me an email at thegardenofeden1111@gmail.com. And my website is www.thereturnofthegardenofeden.com. And you can also send me a message on Facebook. I'm on Facebook as Sharon Andrea. I also have a Facebook page, Sharon Andrea, The Return of the Garden of Eden. And I also have a Patreon of Sharon Andrea, where those are more segments, to do with, because whenever I do my readings or segments, it has to do with what I'm collecting with myself, with what I'm going through and others that's going on currently in the energies. So just know that. So that's how you could get in touch with me. I'm also on Instagram at @1_love_Sharon. I do put some of Charlize's videos on the Instagram TV, and she's on her own Instagram as well. And she also is an artist where she draws also. She's a very great artist, because, when you awaken to yourself, all the gifts come in. Because my son Brandon, he has a meme page. What is it called?
TK's intern.
TK's intern, and he's been on the World Star Hip Hop, and it's really crass. But I allow my kids to be who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
awesome.
and just so you know, here's a. You remember when Iron Man, when he was told not to reveal who he is, and he was given the script, and all he said was, "I am Iron Man." So Charlize is actually the reincarnation of Anaxamoon, and Brandon is the reincarnation of King Tutankhamun. So all of that was revealed. So the whole family dynamic of gifts is coming forth, and all of us were together in that time with such divine gifts. And this is for you to step into your path and not be afraid to say who you are and be who you are.
True.
Okay.
Because
it becomes magnetic and it becomes powerful. And my greatest vision is to see everyone coming together in their true divine sacred love, which includes your gifts and your passion, because you're not supposed to be working just to make money. You're supposed to be, I don't say suppose, you choose to be, you can choose to be in joy with what you love to do. You know what I'm saying? And this is it. The book is not published yet, but I did have someone reach out to me that they're interested, because the book is I'm up to over 1,600 recordings, and I still have more to record. It's going to be more like a series, what Spirit showed me, which it makes sense, like Harry Potter, because it's so much information. It's a lot of data. But just know that the segments on my YouTube, if you go all the way back to 2015, I have a lot of information that is in the book, because it's all going in the book. Everything that I record is going in the book, and you will hear supernatural stuff, and just feel inspired. And I feel even more inspired. I'm inspired, like when I say that one of the best ways to know how much you're connecting to yourself and that you're really releasing more of your fears, look at yourself in the mirror. And who do you see? Record yourselves. Record yourself. And if you feel that you can record yourself, because I did that with Sharon, I said, go back and look at yourself. Don't be afraid to review yourself. And if you don't like what you see, then change it. And you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for anyone else but you. And it empowers you. But you could go back and listen to yourself and look at yourself and say, wow, look at me. Look at how bright and powerful I am, because you embrace your gifts. So if you feel that you're on that path where you're already moving things around your room telekinetically, and you're already getting all these activations from, things coming through to you, whether you're driving. I've had information come to me even while I'm driving, Mike. Okay. And just a lot of supernatural stuff, including visitations and stuff, and not being in fear of it, because it's all that fear and dogma is what has slowed things down for us not to be in gifts, and why the vibration and the frequency went down so low.
And you said that your email is the return of the Garden of Eden?
No, the Garden of Eden 1111 at gmail.com. The website is the return. The website is www.thereturnofthegardenofeden.com.
Beautiful.
And what do you call it? What was I saying? Oh, the Patreon is Sharon Andrea. Yes, and also February 16th, I'm going to be doing a live meeting and session, whatever, to talk and all that stuff and offer some readings in New Jersey, in Teaneck, New Jersey. So if you're in the New York, New Jersey area or Connecticut, or if you want to travel, I'll be there in person. It's going to be on the 17th from 11:30 a.m. to 4 or 5 p.m. So I will be announcing it somewhere on my Facebook page and Instagram, because I don't remember where it's located. I don't
see your Patreon though.
Pardon me?
I don't see your Patreon.
Yeah, you have to type in search for Sharon Andrea. Everything is Sharon Andrea, or search for the Return of the Garden of Eden. It should be. It's actually, if you go in my Is it on your website, the Patreon? It's not on my website, but it's definitely in the all of my YouTube segments.
Oh, nice.
When you go in the description, it should be there. Awesome. And you'll be able to see it. Yeah.
That's good. Wow, this was amazing. This is nothing short of.
Yeah, I know we didn't get to do the any mini readings. I apologize.
But that's totally fine. Like if any of you do want a reading, I strongly recommend hit her up. It is worth it. Every cent, every dollar, or just whatever like experience it is from personal experience. Like every time you read for me, it was everything I needed to hear. In fact, I still want to talk to you a little bit after this broadcast.
That's fine. And I feel, and Mike, you said you're going to be hooking me up to be a part of your team anyway. So
yes. So I haven't made an announcement about this, but Mystical Illuminations is a thing. I just made the YouTube channel the other day where we'll all be able to upload videos there as a group, and I'm going to be accepting readers and personalities, and Sharon is definitely I wanted to be surprised, but Sharon is definitely gonna be one of the first people that I have a part of the team. So I'm so excited. I'm excited too. And just know that, especially for those of you that are on this path, be mindful of who you go to for readings, that they're also on that path, because this is not about just anyone just reading your energy. And sometimes people will go to people for readings and they're projecting their own personal experiences, and then you might just take it in. So just be conscious of that, because I've made that mistake myself when I was trying to figure out what was going on. And just always keep your thoughts on that. Everything that comes for you is always going to be for the highest and best. And you don't have to repeat it all the time. Just stay in that energy of that, and that's what it'll be for you. Okay. Beautiful.
Yes.
I'm gonna put the Patreon link in the description box too for anyone who wants to support. Totally worth it. And thank you guys for joining once again.
Yeah, and thank you for having me. It was awesome, beyond awesomeness.
Also, thank you for having me too.
And Charlize says thank you for having her too.
I'm sitting in the background with a log.
Thank you for spitting them flames.
Oh my gosh.
Very much so appreciated.
Yeah.
So Y'all stay blessed as always. And
Be
until
blessed.
next time.
Love you all.
Peace.
Peace.